barman rising from the pump handle, turning around and spreading the cheeks of his arse and then spraying liquid shit all over Whitey like a paintball gun.
Oh dear.
This is horrible.
No, it's not. Keep going.
I can really see what's happening.
How many pages is this rumour?
Oh, it's nearly finished.
Nearly over.
So, for his troubles, Whitey was given 5 raffle tickets to use.
Half a strip.
To use as free drinks vouchers, which he used, but he has never ever been the same man. True story, Mark the General.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mark.
Mark.
General.
Yeah, thank you, General.
Gossip number 3.
This is from Jim. Hi, this is my gossip. I was invited to join the Knob Gang when I was 11. The Knob Gang were made up of the kids in the street I played out with. They invited me to join their new gang called the Knob Gang. Okay, mate. Okay. I was already in the Yellow Handle Gang.
What does that mean?
Which was a gang that made weapons with yellow electrician tape as a handle. Widened swords whittled with penknives. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Probably right, mate.
We lived on a street that had a sports club on it. There was also a horse field and a railway embankment. Life was good for a kid. Gangs were good. But what was this Knob Gang about I was invited to?
We're all thinking it, mate. Get on with it.
I knew by the name it had something to do with knobs. We referred to our penises as knobs, so I knew I was being invited to a gang that held penises in high regard. I shall jump to the chase. I joined. I joined the Knob Gang. We were all aged between 9 to 12, I guess. The meeting point was was on Sunday morning around 11.
Just after
I
church.
think that's when it happened. The meeting point was round the back of the sports club under the balcony. Oh, God. Knob Gang then all got their knobs out, and that was that.
Did they take a register?
That was
or
all
anything
the Knob
first?
Gang did. They got their knobs out of their pants and then had to put their knobs between the bricks.
Between the bricks?
What? The cement between the bricks. Put your knob between the bricks as if you were having sex. So I did.
Bricks.
And I became a member of the Knob Gang.
Oh, that's how you get. That's how
Yeah,
you join.
Initiation,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, right.
The Knob Gang lasted a couple of weeks. It didn't progress onto shagging other buildings. It just ended after the members stopped meeting. But the members of the Knob Gang still know each other to this day. It really doesn't matter what mental adolescent sexual urge made us fuck a wall at the back of the sports club, does it? Bet this never gets airtime.
Wrong.
Gossip number 4.
Okay, this is from Anonymous. Hello. A childhood friend of mine said that he once knew a kid who had a foot for a hand and a hand for a foot. The kid played football and once scored 40 goals in a season.
With his left hand.
As he kept on palming the ball in the net with his foot where his hand should be.
So sort of like patting it in, like a volleyball.
When does that
Yeah.
become a handball?
Every time.
I don't know
say.
because it's on his
For the rev?
foot, isn't
I'd say every time.
it?
This is a load of old bollocks.
I don't know.
For a hand and a hand. I like the fact that like one disability, is born with a foot for a hand,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
not
yeah.
Yeah.
the chances of then the hand becoming the foot.
A clean swap.
A clean swap is very unlikely.
Clean swap.
It's the medical term.
That kid's got a clean swap.
What? Handfoot boy told my mate that he would collect insects and stick them down his underwear.
Just told him out the blue. Didn't have to be pressed.
This is in quotes, as it felt good. He said that the butterflies were the best.
They flap more, don't they?
He said that butterflies were the best as they tended not to get so violent.
Oh, I thought it was an heart attack. Fucking hell.
What?
My mate says he now works at a pet shop. Bye. That's it.
I've got nothing to add. I've literally got nothing to add.
Was he catching butterflies with his hand, with the foot hand?
Yeah.
It turns out, I'm rarely going to get to say this, but that rumour has got absolutely nothing to do with his foot and his hand being
No.
Swapped.
in the different positions.
No.
It's just the
I'm not
butterflies.
saying-
You've got to mention it.
Yeah. Imagine you've got it read out and they say, why don't you mention his foot and his hand were in the wrong?
Gossip number 5.
This is from Sam. Hi, Poppy, Joe and David. There was a guy from my hometown called Puffin who was absolutely obsessed with getting baptised.
Oh, wow.
He would go round all the churches in the local area, claim to be interested in the Lord, attend a few Sunday services, get christened ASAP, and then off he'd fuck to the next church.
Puffin.
Why Puffin?
What, he just like having a bit of water on his head?
Yeah. guess so.
ASAP. Went on.
Yeah.
So he'd do a bit of groundwork with a vicar.
Yeah. Get christened ASAP, and then off he'd fuck to the next church and repeat.
Oh, good old Puffin.
Oh, fucking hell.
I met him in a pub a few years back, and he told me after his 8th pint of ale, I've been baptised over 50 fucking times. I'm the holiest man in Kent.
Amazing.
He smelt of petrol
Oh,
Nice little aside.
and kept asking people walking by if they'd let him borrow £1 for a play on the fruity.
He's digressing, but I don't mind.
Anyway, what started off as an esoteric hobby apparently recently started to get out of hand.
So
Only
50
recently.
isn't out of hand.
My mate who knows him told me Puffin started asking the priests and vicars doing the baptisms if they could hold him under the water for longer.
How'd you approach that with a vicar?
Oh, if they could hold him under the water for longer and longer periods to mix things up a bit. Because the thrill of the first few times wasn't really there anymore.
thrill of being baptised.
Oh, God.
I think they generally refused, obviously, because it's a fucking mental request.
I don't think so. I'm on Puffin's side.
Dear.
Oh, why is he called Puffin, please?
Puffin.
Drinking more and more and getting increasingly pissed off with clergy who didn't submit to his request, he started holding his head under the water and refusing to get out until he passed out and someone would have to drag him.
God.
What, in the church?
Yeah,
Just wander
apparently.
in on his own?
The local churches started to cotton onto this. And realising he was a serial offender, they sent a newsletter around to all the churches in the county with a photo of his face saying, "Do not baptise this man."
So funny. Oh, God.
He's now dropped all that and apparently makes a living doing talks in schools about going through puberty.
What a detail.
Oh,
my
God.
God.
I've got a headache.
Ah, dear. All the best, Sam. Thank you so
Sam.
much,
That was
Sam.
great.
Thanks, mate.
Gossip number 6. Celebrity. David O'Doherty.
Hey Gossipmongers, David O'Doherty here. And so my friend says when he was on his French exchange when he was 14, the night he got there, the parents of the family he was staying with went out. So his French exchange and all of his friends went to the video shop and rented a porno film and then took it back to the house. And they were all sitting around with, my friend was on a 3-seater couch with them. A French guy didn't know on either side of him, and they all started whacking it. And yeah, he just had to sit there with his arms folded. And yeah, sorry about that.
Gossip number 7.
This is from Giles. Hi guys, loving the podcast. Thought you might like to hear about my nan's friend Pam.
I do, actually.
Yeah, that's what I hope. That's what I read it. My nan's best friend was a half German lady called Pam. Pam was a family friend and lived close to us. When Nan would visit Pam, we often met her at Pam's house. I was quite a snotty child and often had excess mucus, something I would grow out of before my teenage years. But it was during one of these heavy mucus episodes at Pam's house that my father reached for a tissue from a top dresser in the hallway. In his haste, not noticing the odd way the tissues were kept, there was a Kleenex-style box of new tissues, but also a stack of tissues that didn't have any noticeable signs of use, other than they'd been clearly ruffled and then smoothed back out and placed in a stack.
Smoothed.
As my father
Smoothed back out.
Smoothed.
As my father reached for one, my nan lunged across to stop him and instead offered up the new ones. My nan was a respectable woman,
She had a dark secret, eh?
and apparently it took a lot of coaxing before she told my parents that when Pam needed to pass wind...
Oh,
God.
that's so
Hang
gross.
on. She would excuse herself from the room and go out into the hallway to do so into a tissue.
That's really sweet.
It's horrible.
It's really made me feel sick.
Yeah, same here.
What? I think it's sweet.
Oh, God.
What, she'd sort of pop into it?
It's like
and then-
she's coughing
fucking
into
horrible.
it,
Yeah,
but with her
doing a
ass.
fart
And putting them
cough.
back in the drawer in a
Yeah,
neat
because they're
stack.
not
They're not
soiled.
actually used, are they?
They've just
I'm
had
totally with her.
they've had shit
Cool,
particles
I'm glad
sprayed
you
onto
are.
them. Though.
I'm in my mid-30s now, and I've had a couple of decades to reflect on this. Until
He has little quiet moments where he thinks about it.
and to this day, I still can't see any benefit, perceived or actual, to breaking wind into a tissue. I can only assume it was out of some kind of misplaced etiquette.
Doesn't know what to do.
Perhaps this is
start doing
common.
it.
Perhaps this is common amongst that generation, but I don't think that's the case. I'm also unaware whether the tissue was placed over or under the clothing. Having both passed away now, I feel we'll never know. You could try some kind of seance to ask. But I think the undead probably have bigger fish to fry.
Lovely stuff.
That's great.
I think it's
God.
it's over the trousers, not under trousers. She just did it.
You think it's sweet, Joe?
I think it's really
gross.
sweet.
I think it's gross as
I
well.
think it's lovely.
But there's
She sounds like a lovely woman.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that
It's
whatsoever.
thoughtful, isn't it? I
What
suppose.
was her name? Pam.
It's
Half
sick.
German Pam. Was that in her house or his nan's house?
I
I think
don't
it was
know.
in his nan's house.
Was it?
It's at Nan's friend's house,
Oh,
Pam.
I know, but it was at Pam's
How's
friend.
Pam's house up? Well, I hope so.
Was it at Pam's house or Pam's friend's house?
I don't know. Was the Nan in on it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So was the nan going, no, okay, this, you know where they are.
What kind of made her?
You know where the tissue, I need to pop. You know where the tissues are, Pam. Because
Yeah,
she
insert
slammed it
tissue.
shut, you see.
Oh yeah, what the
I just
nan was
put
like
that
that.
back in the drawer. Horrible.
I'm no problem with that whatsoever.
Are you going to do that now?
No, I do it too regularly to...
Like you've got to Nan's friend Pam.
Didn't let me down, did it?
Yeah, you had us at Nan's friend Pam.
Gossip number 8.
Right, this is from Tony. So my dad says that when he was young, they had a goldfish, which my nan used to take everywhere with her around the house.
What?
Just come straight in with it, Tony. And she'd talk to it incessantly whilst doing her chores. One day, after a few years, she was cooking dinner and Gus was on the computer next to the cooker when the dam burst.
Is Gus the fish?
I guess so. Gus the fish.
Was he? What? He was on the computer?
Yeah.
What, looking at...
Just in a...
But when you
in
say
a
on
bowl.
the computer, makes me think of
Oh.
looking at
Typing.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's fish.
Oh, you mean on top of the computer?
One day, after a few years, she was... After a few years of what?
After a
Having
few
a
years,
goldfish.
a few years after that sentence, that previous sentence.
Nan was cooking dinner and Gus was on the computer next to the cooker. I take it Gus is a...
Why? Hold on. Who has a computer next to their oven? How fucking small is this
Nan.
house?
Unable to take any more, and in a sad attempt to end it all, he suddenly leapt from his bowl into a pan of boiling custard.
Custard.
He just
Boiling.
he couldn't listen to
Bubbling
Nan
custard.
anymore.
On hearing my nan's cries, Grandad rushed in and, quick as a flash, flipped Gus out of the custard straight into the sink with a fish slice and ran him under the coals.
Good as new.
God.
Miraculously, Gus survived the ordeal and once back in his bowl, after a quiet hour or so, carried on as if nothing had happened.
It's like he'd forgotten what happened.
All seemed normal until one morning, a couple of days later, the sound of my nan's cries echoed once again through the living room. Gus was on top of the water, still alive, but minus fins and tail, which had fallen off and could be seen floating separately to
Oh,
his body.
no.
That's so sad.
Dad claims that Gus lived for 2 years like this, able to move up and down in the water using his swim bladder.
Swim bladder.
Brackets questionable.
I
So
suppose
you
the bladder was on show then?
Oh.
Heartwarming in many ways, but my thoughts always come back to the memory of a goldfish being only about 8 seconds, and every 8 seconds for 2 years, Gus looking back and going, shit, where the fuck did all my fins and tail go?
It's in the custard, mate.
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite rumour.
Right, here's our top 5 for this episode. Number 1, Gus the goldfish. Number 2, Puffin. Number 3, Nan's friend Pam.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, Whitey and the barman. And number 5, Knob Gang.
Not gang.
Well, it's a clear winner for me. Well, not a clear winner, but a winner.
Are you thinking knob gang?
No,
What are you thinking?
Puffin.
Oh, Puffin, yeah. Yeah.
You going Puffin?
I'm going Puffin. Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah,
going
I
Puffin.
really
I've got no
can't
doubt.
remember anything about Puffin.
Well,
That's the fun of
the
it.
name of the game.
Yeah, it's going to be
Right,
silence out
so
there.
Puffin's a winner. So if you open the window, Poppy,
you know
and
what? I can't
tell
think of
everyone, bloody hell, it's busy out there. Tell everyone
There's a fate. I think there's a fate on.
the Puffin rumour.
I feel very under pressure.
Here we go.
Oh my god. There was a guy called Puffin. Oh yeah, no, I remember. He was addicted to being baptised at churches. Got a baptism addiction, went round 50 churches, but what was it?
Losing confidence.
But,
They're all looking up at you. Come on.
I know.
They're waving.
Yes.
They want more
Just
info.
give me a second.
She's shouting that down to them.
You're the one out the window.
Yeah, give me a second. Stop pressuring me.
Oh yeah, he was getting turned on by being held under for longer and longer until the church, were like, we know what he's doing.
Newsletter?
Sent a newsletter around and was like, no baptism. Right, bye. Hello.
Short and sweet.
Well done. So Puffin was the winner.
Clear winner in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right, should we say goodbye?
Yeah.
What is it we say again?
From us all at Gossipmongers.
We say goodbye.
We bid you farewell.
We bid you, yeah. Whatever.
Oh dear. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to
Gorgeous Millipedes.
No,
Gherkins Mouldy.
no,
Gary Lineker masturbates.
no. Gossipmongers. Yes, that's it. Gossipmongers. Fantastic. Here we go then. Cool stuff.
Gossip number 1.
Hi. This is from Joanna. Hi, I work for a well-known charity who deliver workplace first aid training. I used to work in customer services, and one day we received an email about a member of the public who was banned from attending any of our courses. The email only had his name, which unfortunately I can't remember, but stated if he was to call or email, we were under no circumstances allowed to book him onto a course.
I'm
Oh, is
intrigued.
he?
Yeah, intrigued, I searched his name on the database to see why he was banned. How could anyone be banned from learning first aid? It turns out he used to purposely shit himself on courses.
That's how.
What? The notes on his account simply said defecates on courses. Do not book. Speak to manager if necessary. Banned for life.
Banned for life.
Oh, so basic. Oh, God.
Apparently, it happened around 3 times.
I thought you were going to say 3 p.m.
Every time. Don't do the afternoon course with him. I don't know how the teacher or fellow students discovered this, that he pooed himself, whether he told them or just waited for the stench to hit them. It's a mystery. He was a living legend in the department for a time I worked there. Legend. Known simply as that one who pooed on a course. I just wish I knew more information. Thank you, Joanna. You're an absolute
I want to know
superstar.
more.
Gossip number 2.
This is from Anonymous. Hi all. I've recently moved in with my fiancée and have noticed her neighbour is a bit strange. I spotted her doing the summertime sitting in her back garden topless, wearing only her bikini bottoms. She's 76.
Good luck.
I spotted this anomaly due to being able to see directly into her back garden from my partner's bedroom window. What's weirder than the nudity is that she likes to clean her pebbles.
What's her pebbles? Is it pebbles or is it something
I
else?
don't know. With a hose pipe during the hottest part of the day. Clean her pebbles.
I'm so intrigued. It's killing me.
I'm not sure whether I wish that was some sort of innuendo,
Oh, right.
but she in fact has 4 crates full of small white pebbles that she keeps in her garden shed. I could understand if they were washed once a year and used on her flower beds, but this is a weekly occurrence. And after they're clean, the pebbles are put back in the shed. It's really bothering me.
It's bothering me as well.
Does anybody else do this?
No, just topless pebble washer.
It frightens me how she covers the end of the hose pipe with one finger to make it spray whilst gritting her teeth. It's just dawned on me that they could be baby skulls.
Is it?
Baby skulls.
Baby skull.
He's right.
Let it go, mate, and get on with your day.
Just look the other way. Pull the curtains.
Baby skulls.
Straight away
Little-
jump into
little
that.
twist.
Oh, God.
Gossip number 3.
Right, this is from Anonymous. There was a guy in the town where I grew up called Blind Chris. He was and presumably still is blind, as his name suggests. The story I heard was that he lost his sight in some kind of tragic accident involving hay bales. But anyway, that isn't the gossip. The gossip is that my mate's grandma reckons he isn't actually blind at all. Oh, nosy grandma.
Big fibber.
She runs news agents, and she reckons when he comes into the shop, she can see his eyes following all the young girls around.
Oh, God.
It's all an act, according to my nan. If it is, he has gone to fairly extreme lengths, because he must have lived in the town for 40 plus years. And he's kept it up the whole time.
I think Granny's just a bit of a nosy bitch.
Also, my mate was walking home from the pub one night and saw him fall straight into a big hole. Oh, God. That the water company had dug in the road. I don't know.
Just in
Should we be
case
laughing?
Just in case anyone sees it.
Yeah, I better jump in here.
I'll prove it.
Oh, God.
Gossip number 4.
Okay, this is from Matt from Manchester. Hi, David, Joe and Poppy. A mate of mine used to attend a life drawing class where artists and hobbyists alike would practice drawing human anatomy from a nude model. At one of the lessons, my mate was drawing when something started beading from the model's penis down onto the floor. Too long and stringy to be piss. It was definitely cum.
What, it just came out? These medical facilities.
What? But he'd be flaccid,
Yeah, but what's it just
bubbling
Read
out.
on. Read on.
we're about to find out? Don't stop there.
My mate looked around like, I can't be the only one seeing this, right? But everyone was carrying on like nothing was happening.
They'd seen it all before.
We reckon that the model had knocked one out in the toilets beforehand.
Oh, my God.
Scared that he might have gotten a boner during the class.
Exactly what he did.
Yeah, definitely. Or that he was trying to make his knob look bigger for the drawings.
I like an insecure model.
Yeah.
Life
You know
model.
what?
Yeah.
Do something else then.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Do you know what I mean? Be a road
Fucking
sweeper.
hell.
Either way,
Not good money either.
Is it not, mate?
No.
really not, no. Either way, it was fucking rank. There you go.
Gossip number 5.
This is from Tom. I have a bit of gossip concerning the provenance of a much-loved 70s hit song. I was told this gossip by my mum's ex-boyfriend, affectionately known as Bonsoir. It was the summer of '79, and Bonsoir and his mates were enjoying the school holidays by engaging in some.
Who's Bonsoir? His mum's ex?
Yeah.
His mum's ex-boyfriend,
It's called
Bonsoir.
Fucking hell, amazing.
It was the summer of '79, and Bonsoir and his mates were enjoying the school holidays by engaging in some underage drinking at Holme Pierpoint Water Sports Centre in Nottingham.
Sounds like
Bonsoir.
the place to do it.
Whilst on a raft in the middle of a lake, one of the lads noticed a bottle that appeared to have some paper inside it. Instead of investigating further, they apparently all simultaneously and without any discussion began to chant, "Message in a bottle, message in a bottle, message in a bottle." This curious incident was soon forgotten as they continued with their lazy summer afternoon on the lake. Cut to the evening, and the lads had got tickets to see a hot new band, The Police, playing at their school. I looked this part up, and despite sounding utter bollocks, they did actually play at the school in 1979.
Oh, God. Okay.
They were enjoying some of the hits when all of a sudden the singer announced that they were about to try out a new song that they'd written that very afternoon. Lo and behold, they then launched into the song "Message in a Bottle." To this day, Bonsoir is convinced that Sting overheard their on the lake and is still annoyed that he never received any songwriting royalties.
Bonsoir.
Absolutely incredible. Message in a Bottle by Bonsoir.
Gossip number 6. Celebrity. Ross Nobel.
Hello there, this is Ross Noble here with some showbiz gossip. This concerns my mate's mum lives next door to this bloke who had a job incinerating medical waste at the local hospital, and this lad got wind that Arthur Askey, the popular variety comedian, star of stage and screen, was due to come in to be operated on. He found out that due to poor circulation, which had resulted in gangrene, big-hearted Arthur, as he was known as, had to have both his legs amputated. So this fella, after the op, faster than you could say, "Hello, playmates," he stole Arthur's legs and pickled them in a fish tank. And to this day, he keeps them in his garage. And for any fans of the glory days of British variety, or just legs in general, he'll show them to you for £5. Thank you.
Gossip number 7.
Okay. Doesn't say who it's from, this one. Growing up, I always dreamed of swimming with dolphins, as I imagine many of us do. This story, however, may change your opinion of these gentle, kind creatures. At my uni, there was a girl and 2 of her friends who headed to Florida to swim with dolphins and tick it off their bucket list. Little did they know what lay ahead. Towards the end of the experience, the girls were waiting for the dolphin to carry them across the lagoon when things took a sinister turn.
Oh, God.
2 of the friends safely made it back, but one unfortunately caught the dolphin's eye.
Oh, God.
He definitely wanted a piece and started dunking her. Fins on shoulders, mounting her from behind.
Fucking hell.
She was being bobbed up and down and then saw a giant pink dolphin dick appear from under the water.
Oh, God.
The dolphin dick started jabbing her.
Oh, God, jabbing.
It knew where to go.
It knew.
The two rejected girls then raised the alarm, and the victim was rescued by staff. On the way out, the
caretaker.
Len came in with a stick. On the way out, the victim took one look. On the way out, the victim took one last look at her admirer to see him eyeballing her, and she swears she saw him wink
And click.
No word of a lie. The girl is still in therapy. Hashtag dolphin dick.
Creating their own hashtag.
That's our first hashtag.
Yeah.
Oh,
was
God, I
great.
don't know what I'm laughing at there.
Gossip number 8.
This is from Robert. Growing up, one of my best mates went to an all-boys high school. I was always jealous of his stories, and one in particular stays with me to this day. During a philosophy lesson, my mate was handed a note from a fellow classmate. Ground floor toilets, go now.
All right, go on. We've all sat up. We were slouching a little, but
When the bell rang, the entire class fled out down to the ground floor toilets. When he got there, there was a huge queue for the gents. In typically British fashion, a line of very excitable lads snaked round the ground floor toilet entrance to the library, which was at least a block away. They waited patiently to get a good look at what was in there. All people could hear from the front of the queue was, "Oh my God," and "Wow," "An unbelievable lad." And at the front stood a boy. His name was Ben Rossiter, who had done what one lad described as the biggest human shit of all time.
Wow.
Ben Rossiter stood there, proud as punch.
like an artist next to his work.
Nodding to everyone's exclamations as they passed. My mate said it was as large as a full-size rugby ball. Complete dome with no breakage. To this day, everyone who does a large log claims it as a Rossiter. What a guy.
Gossip number 9.
This is from Dave Bolton. Hi, Joe, Dave and Poppy. Back in the early 70s in the north of England, a load of kids opened their Mr. Spock Action Man dolls on Christmas Day, only to find their Mr. Spock didn't have a nose. That's because my mum, Diane, got her first job after secondary school at a toy factory production line where she had to check every Mr. Spock was in a fit state to go on sale. My mum, being bored as fuck with her job, bit the nose off every Mr. Spock that passed on the conveyor belt,
Your mum's off her fucking rocker.
which passed inspection and was packaged appropriately ready for shipment. This is entitled "My Mum and Spock's Nose."
That's amazing.
Bonus gossip: her brother Michael had a job at Ratbones, the bread bakers, and every so often would flick a meaty bogey into the huge dough machine.
You
Gross,
fucking scumbag.
gross.
I remember being
Gross.
about 7 or 8 and making a jam butty, and my mum telling me to check the bread for lumps.
You savage.
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite rumour.
Okay, here's the top 5 of this episode. Number 1 is the world's biggest dump. Number 2 is bonsoir wrote message in a bottle.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Don't need to hear the rest.
Number 3 is dolphin dick.
Oh, yeah, actually.
dolphin dick.
Number 4 is white pebble cleaning.
That's good.
And number 5 is first aider shitting.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, my God, there's 3 there.
Yeah.
So, world's biggest dump. Bonsoir wrote message in a bottle. Dolphin dick. White pebble cleaning. And first aid shitter.
I'm sticking with bonsoir.
I think bonsoir as well. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
On other days, a couple of those other ones could have won. But
Yeah.
I think the fact that it's
Bonsoir
so,
was-
it's so,
You're going for bonsoir?
yeah. You're a little bit disappointed.
No, not at all.
Were you
No.
thinking
Sounded
another?
like you
I
wanted.
don't know, really.
You wanted.
It wasn't a standout.
You don't think bonsoir was?
No, well, that's absolutely fine.
Blimey, we've never had this sort of discussion.
What,
No, go for it. Do what you want. Fucking
No,
hell.
there isn't any that.
No.
that
Was
beat-
then-
I mean,
Oh.
there's Blind Chris. Who's Blind Chris? Oh, it's
Blind
Nan.
Yeah, it's
But
not
he didn't
good.
make the top 5, so he's irrelevant.
It's a good bunch.
Right,
there.
bonsoir wrote message in a bottle.
Should I do? You sure?
Yeah.
Oh well, there seems to be some. There's no.
No, not at all.
David's-
No,
there's a
no,
lot of
no.
There's a
What was
passive
the-
aggressive. No.
Yeah, no, I was literally thinking there's nothing else that.
What was the top 5 again? Just to put-
Okay,
if you
well,
put
the
it
top 5
next
is
to-
world's biggest dump.
Okay, what was better?
Bonsoir wrote message in a bottle.
Yeah,
Dolphin dick.
yeah.
White pebble cleaning and first aid shitter.
First aid shitting was very well written.
Yeah. I feel like the Pebble one, we laughed a lot, but maybe not as much as
Yeah.
Bonsoir, I think, just has a cracking little story at the heart of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna put my foot down, guys. Actually,
Okay,
Yeah.
Bonsoir.
I'll do it then.
Right.
right.
Out the window.
What's the crowd like out today?
It's quieter.
Oh, that's a shame. Podcast is failing then. Where to begin? Totally forgotten it, haven't you?
Someone's mum's ex-boyfriend was called Bonsoir,
Nicknamed Bonsoir.
and Bonsoir said that he was having a drink with his friends when they were younger, and they found a message in a bottle
On a lake in Nottingham.
on a lake in
By the leisure
Nottingham.
centre, I think.
Next door to the leisure centre.
Next door to the leisure centre. Yeah, so they saw it and started going, message in a bottle, message in a bottle.
God, you sound like a robot. Message in a bottle, message in a bottle. Bloody effort in. You're shouting down at 35 people.
Well, then Sting must have heard, because that night they said, we've got a brand new song we just wrote this afternoon. It's called Message in a Bottle. The end. I believe it.
Window closed.
Ah.
Oh,
Well,
good
that
fun.
too,
That was good
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
Good
Been
episode,
a
guys.
good one, yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for writing in, everyone. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
as we say on the podcast,
From us all at Gossipmonger. Gossipmonger.
We
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 salute
bid
you.
you farewell.
We bid you good
bid
night.
you a goodbye.
Or good morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Gloomy Mackerel. No. Golf cart mechanic. No. Goddamn Marmite. No. Gossipmongers. Yes. That's it. Gossipmongers.
Gossipmongers.
Fantastic. Here we go then. Cool stuff.
Gossip number 1.
So this doesn't say who it's from.
Yeah, none.
Dear Gossipmongers, firstly I want to thank you for providing a safe platform for sharing vicious rumours. Strap yourself in, this one will shake you up a bit. Confident bugger. It all started about 10 years ago. I landed my first job as a glass collector at the local workingmen's club. The crack behind the bar was fierce and there was a real camaraderie amongst the staff. We would all make fun of the quirky regulars that chose to spend their time in this shithole listening to terrible cover bands. Unfortunately, one regular in particular got the brunt of the rumours. His name was Teddy Fingers. The following 2 paragraphs will describe Teddy Fingers' fingers. 2 paragraphs it deserves. Okay, I'm 100%.
Promising.
I'm 100% in now. Oh dear. He had 4 fingers on his right hand. 3 were conjoined, and I'm guessing what was his thumb stuck out like a hook, with a large nail coming off it.
Oh, God.
Sharp enough to cut butter.
Not that sharp then.
No, you do that with a finger. It's not been in the fridge.
What a great first hand.
His left hand was even more fucked. 2 slabs of skin flopped over from the knuckle. Scott, sorry, that deserves to be read again.
Oh, sure.
2 slabs of skin flopped over from the knuckle like banana skins. But when excited, would stand erect like 2 throbbing members.
What?
Don't know.
That's all right. Keep going.
Bar staff would drop Teddy's change into his hand after he ordered a beer,
Brave.
and we would all watch as the coins dropped through his deformed hands and onto the bar. This is bad, isn't it? We should.
No.
He's got bad hands.
It's not true.
It's not true. If you're listening, this is not true.
Teddy doesn't exist.
No, he's got perfectly lovely hands, not flaps.
Come on,
would
this is his moment.
He
in the
would
sun.
he would have to use his floppy hand to slide the coins to the edge of the bar and scoop them into his pocket as they dropped off the end, like one of those 2p machines at the
Quite
arcade.
skilled.
Anyway, one night the club was bouncing with some filthy girls from a hen do. Teddy's banana hand was flopping in and out of erectness throughout the night. As the ladies did some dirty dance moves. Does his hand get erect? Is that
Yeah,
what
it
you're saying?
gets turned on.
Fucking hell. Right. As the night progressed, one of the ladies found herself talking to Fingers.
I bet his hands are firmly in his pocket.
Yeah, behind his back. Eddie was cracking on, and before you knew it, he was reaching down her pants, whilst the band blared out Atomic Kitten's Whole Again. I don't even know that song. It's crap. As the chorus kicked in, the lady's eyes slowly rolled back in her head.
Oh no, the hook thumb.
You reckon it's the hook thumb? Could be any
Well,
any
it's one
part.
of 3.
It's kind of many
There's
things.
two. There's
The
two.
banana finger, the hook thumb, or the
The slabs.
Or the erect flaps.
probably the red flap.
I'm going flaps, yeah.
Hindsight.
Her eyes rolled back in her head. People were whispering they had the. People were whispering that he had the conjoined fingers in the pink and the hook in the stink.
Oh god.
That's what it was made for. Oh, now it's all making sense. Either way, the lady was loving it.
Eyes rolling back.
Long
yeah.
story short, and for about 4 songs later, Teddy pulled his hand out and it was healed.
What?
His hand had gone back to normal. Her,
Oh my God.
her fanny must have dislodged the fingers. Don't know
Oh,
what
right,
that.
so it's split apart.
I think so. Unfortunately,
God.
A lot
she
of blood
got off.
flow, I imagine.
Unfortunately, she got off before he sorted out the banana hand as well. He still struggles to put gloves on.
What the? What?
Fuck knows.
Okay.
Gossip number 2.
Dear Mongers, you know how some of us have one of them neighbours who's just a little bit eccentric and a bit of an oddity? Well, this is some allegedly fact-based gossip about one of those very neighbours. This goes back to the early to mid-80s when the neighbour who is the subject of this gossip lived opposite my childhood home in Netherton, just outside Liverpool. I'll change his name to Trevor in the hope that you might change it again to...
Well, then
Clever.
he says his actual name.
Yeah. Neighbours often witnessed Trevor doing some unusual things in and around his house at all hours of the day and night, like, painting his garage door with a 1-inch brush,
It's not that weird.
using a pneumatic drill in his back garden for only a few minutes at a time, and usually quite late at night.
So he does a quick burst, then goes to bed.
And on one occasion, after buying a certain new curtain rail, he snapped it in half to get it home on the bus. One New Year's Eve during a party in our house, he knocked and asked my dad, "Harry, I've had a bit of an accident. Can I borrow a hammer?" My dad had probably responded with something along the lines of, "Fuck that, Trevor. Come in and have a drink." It was during the party at which he was now an accidental guest that he told my mum and dad about his new lady friend, who turned out to be another local character, affectionately known as Smelly Dot.
Smelly dog.
Smelly dots.
Fast forward a few weeks later, and Trevor was seen to have developed a funny sort of limping, strained walk. Almost listening to one side with a slow motion hop. I love these people. Trevor was a postman. New chapter.
We jumped forward quite considerably there.
Trevor was a postman, and his new lady friend, Smelly Dot, worked in the canteen of the mail depot. A work colleague of his had told my dad the story behind Chris's newly acquired funny walk. Apparently, one evening, some weeks into their relationship, a confident and fruity-feeling Trevor had persuaded Smelly Dot to give him some hand relief. Dot, not being...
Stop saying dot.
Dot. I really like that word. Dot, not being all that familiar with the mechanics of such a task or confident to bring proceedings to a satisfactory conclusion, was by all accounts reluctant to do so, and her confession to Chris only encouraged him to persuade her with some gentle advice and guidance. Just imagine you're trying to get sauce out of a bottle.
Such a nice look into that.
Tap the end of it. Oh, God.
Was the alleged advice horny Trevor gave Smelly Dot as he lay back eagerly awaiting his cheeky wank. One can only imagine the thought process Dot went through as she imagined such an action before gripping Trevor's expectant chap.
Smelly dot.
Bearing in mind that sauce bottles of the 1980s were glass and not the convenient squeezy bottles we have now. Sauce, be it red or brown, required considerable more effort and vigour to release from the bottle. Rumour has it that Smelly Dot gripped the shaft of poor Trevor's, by this time rock-hard cock, and from an unknown height brought the open palm of her other hand crashing down several times onto Trevor's bell end. Into a slamming sauce out of a glass bottle motion. Further rumour has it that Chris's helmet near exploded on impact. And the resulting screams were louder than his pneumatic drill.
Lovely callback.
Trevor and Smelly Dot's relationship must have come to an abrupt end after that unfortunate business,
Why?
as they were never seen together again. However, Chris maintained to his colleagues that she ruined his knob on purpose after he refused to take Smelly Dot and her sister to see Blood Brothers at the Liverpool Empire. Ah, dear.
Gossip number 3.
This is from Mark. Hi guys. About 10 years ago, I had a temp job working for a place that made cardboard boxes in Northampton. At lunchtime, I would wander over to the shop to grab some lunch. On my third day of going to the shop, I decided to buy some cashews. This caught the eye of the shopkeeper, who then asked me, "You like them?" I don't know what I did like that. Sorry.
Add a little bit of racism into it.
Just keep it
You
like
like it?
You like them? And I said, yes, I like them. He then said, you know what they're good for, right? Before I could think of an answer, he said, they will make you come a lot.
cashews.
Do they? So weird.
Bit strange. So I sort of laughed and then carried on looking for lunch and the quickest way out. I went to pay for my cashews, and the guy then pointed behind me and said, "You like them?" Gesturing towards the porn magazines and videos on the top shelf. I didn't know what to say. He then said, "Well, if you want to have a get-together with some friends upstairs, we take some magazine and help each other have good time. You should come." I said,
It is bordering on racist now.
well, whatever.
Whatever.
I said, no, thank you, and left. He did try to entice me slightly by saying I could keep the magazine after for free. So I got invited to some sort of secret wank club above a shop. Cheers, Mark.
Summed up. Basically, this is what happened.
Don't
great.
think about the cashews. Remember the cashews? They played quite a big part.
I like that.
Such a load of bollocks.
Gossip number 4.
So this is from Non. Hello, Joe, David and Poppy. This gossip takes place one summer in the late 1980s. A group of very bored and appallingly dressed scallies set up the Kent Road Crew. They met regularly in the garden shed and fucked about and spat and that.
Spat? As in...
Yeah, spat in the shed.
Oh, yeah, I remember loads of kids at school used to just
Yeah,
spit on the
I
floor.
don't like,
It's horrible.
spitting.
Oh, yeah.
It was a motley crew. Myself, my older brother, Dirty Sasha, who'd do anything for a can of happy shopper cola, and a packet of chipsticks. A couple of scabby younger kids who I can't remember their names. And then there was Alan.
Oh, he
Al-
sounds bad.
Yeah, Alan had a lazy eye and smelt of celery.
Those two things are not related.
He smelt of celery, despite pleading that he didn't like celery. Strange. Pleading. The general tedium was punctuated by light bullying of the younger members and low-grade vandalism. Always in the background, though, was Alan and his strange antics. Alan wouldn't leave himself alone, constantly fiddling and playing with himself. To be specific, he would be exercising his foreskin.
What?
Just mucking around with it, isn't it? I'm not sure if it was a nervous tick or if he had an agenda. He never said. What it meant, though, was that it got to an extraordinary size and consistency. And looked
Because he
like,
was pulling it all the time.
yeah, and looked like a clanger's nose.
I know what that looks like.
Yeah,
What does it look
Clanger's
It's like a
nose
clanger's
is like
nose, like long, like
yeah,
like sort
thick
of
at
long,
the top
thin-
and then
yeah, tapers,
taper.
yeah,
Yeah.
tapers, clanger's nose. Well, perfect description.
Unfortunately, that's not where the gossip ends. One afternoon of very little activity and excitement. Oh, God. So much spit in my mouth. It's horrible.
Fucking hell.
Sorry.
Selling it to
Let
the
me
listeners.
just get I know.
Yeah.
Is that on camera? It's so gross.
Do
Like,
you produce a lot of spit?
More than most, I think.
I've just got a dry mouth like all the time. So it's
Why do you
just
think
like,
that?
I don't know, just
Bad
eating
luck.
loads of shit. Shall I get back to this thing? What was it? Clanger's nose was last. Okay. Unfortunately, that's not where the gossip ends. One afternoon of very little activity and excitement, the Kent Road Crew were fucking about at Brims, a bit of waste ground near the sewage
Life
works.
is so depressing, isn't it?
really is.
Everyone's
If
life
you've
is
named
depressing.
waste ground, then your life's not going
Yeah,
perfectly.
yeah. I haven't mentioned that the location of this gossip is in a city on the south coast near the sea. In the 80s, it was common sight to see Welk Man. I can't say that without...
Well, come on, now we get to the
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah. Welk.
Man.
Welk Man.
What a superhero.
In a van selling cockles, winkles, etc. in the street and in the pubs. I think he's dead now, but that's by the by. On this fateful afternoon, the Welk Man drove by Brims, and my older brother had a bit of change and flagged said Welk Man down. He purchased a polystyrene cup of winkles and a toothpick.
God, this is bleak.
I love it.
Yeah, and proceeded to gorge himself on the salty, fishy snacks. Whilst this was going
Really
on...
meandering, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot the
I'm
point.
with it again.
What's our podcast again? What the fuck is going on? The meandering podcast.
Yeah.
Gives us stories with no point.
I know. Whilst this was going on, Alan was carrying out his usual foreskin manipulation.
Oh, I'd forgotten about him. Fucking hell, yeah. What's Clanger's nose? Yeah. Fucking hell.
Oh, God. Suddenly, Alan stopped his self-abuse and a look came over him. He declared in a sing-song, showy-off voice that he could stuff 50 winkles in his foreskin.
The two stories have come together. Lovely.
And who'd have thought?
It all felt disparate, didn't it? He was teasing us. It's like Columbo. I've forgotten about the Welk Man and the clanger nose. Yeah.
I want this to go on for a long time.
Fuck
When
off.
did this start?
Fuck off.
No, sorry, that's what it says. I was just like, fuck off.
We're enjoying it. Fuck off. And if you're listening and enjoying this, fuck off. Jesus, Poppy.
It's my CBD oil.
Never do Jack and
It's
Ori.
making me weird. Just suddenly losing it.
Fuck off.
Oh dear.
Jesus.
Come on. How long we got left?
So,
Long.
How long we got left of the story?
we're
Where are
there.
we? Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
We got a load. Make yourself a cup of tea, guys.
Oh, God.
So,
Yeah, time for our sponsors.
Oh God.
fuck off. We all chorus back.
Oh, it was in the script.
go.
Oh, sorry.
Wasn't being rude.
Oh, right, sorry.
Don't get me wrong, his foreskin was like a pelican's beak in both fleshy elasticity and the cavernous size.
And the weight would have taken it down like a
Yeah,
pelican's beak. wouldn't it?
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and the cavernous size, but 50 winkles, bollocks.
Doesn't believe it.
Anyway, my brother's bullying radar went off and he detected blood in the water. He proceeded to goad Alan that it couldn't be done and that Alan's foreskin wasn't all that. Well, that was that. Alan proceeded to load his foreskin with winkle after winkle.
Near the sewers.
For some reason, it's making my knee hurt.
Oh God.
I don't know why. My right knee started hurting. I'll get on with it.
dear.
I need this to end.
Okay, yeah, Alan proceeded to load his foreskin with winkle after winkle.
Stop saying that.
No, say it again. I'm going to put a beat behind it.
Alan proceeded to load his foreskin with winkle after winkle.
Seriously, move on.
Alan proceeded to load his foreskin with winkle after winkle, winkle after winkle, winkle after winkle, winkle after winkle. Arranging the said mollusks like it was some sort of Tetris puzzle.
Oh, I nearly threw up. Oh,
I got really hot. Oh, I'm really sweating. My knees hurt.
It was quite exciting and we were all completely mesmerised by the scene unfolding
As are
before
we.
us.
As is the nation.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And therein lay the problem. As all our attentions were taken up by Alan's endeavours, no one had noticed the heron gull that had perched on the fence of the sewage works.
Still it continues.
Oh my God.
Fucking hell.
One of those fuck off big ones with beady eyes and a murderous beak. 40, we chorus. He was going to do it for sure.
Oh, God, he got to 40.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The seagull beat its wings and I caught sight of it then. It was like a vulture, massive. 45. Still the insertions went on. I think
Oh, God.
I think it was on the count of 48 when the gull made its move.
Where's the irresponsible whelp man?
Yeah,
He's gone home.
just gone.
He's made his money.
This is not his fault. You didn't say put it in the end of your knob.
How big a whelp? No, genuine question.
Winkle.
Winkles. How
They're
big's a
small,
winkle?
they're small.
That.
No,
Right.
they're smaller than that.
Do you think? I
Yeah.
thought, is it the thing that sticks to the side of a whale? Do you know what I mean?
That's a fin.
Isn't that a barnacle?
Oh yeah, barnacle, yeah. What's a winkle?
So they're like small whales.
Right.
No, they're like cockles, same size as cockles, aren't they?
Right, 15. Right,
50
okay.
under the foreskin.
Still impressive. Bloody
Yeah,
hell.
sure, absolutely.
You try it. I think 5 at best.
I think it was on the count of 48 when
yeah.
the gull made its move. Quick as a flash, it swooped down with clinical efficiency.
Fucking hell, this is true, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems it.
No two ways about
Don't
it.
care either way.
Probably honed from years of nicking chips from pasty fat holidaymakers. It went for Alan's engorged foreskin and performed a perfect circumcision.
Setting the winkles free.
It must have thought it was Christmas, a fishy kebab, if you like. I'm not sure if it was the shock of it all or the actual pain, which was worse for Alan, but his wails started quite quietly, and then it rose to a crescendo like an air raid siren.
This is the boy who's had his foreskin lopped off. Right?
Yeah. The scene was pretty chaotic, I can tell you. Blood, winkles scattered about. Alan grasping at his now mutilated cock. Oh, the only thing for it was to fuck off sharpish.
Leave brim.
Yeah. And we jumped on our assorted grifters and chopper bikes and legged it. I looked over my shoulder as I cycled away, and it was like a scene from hell.
Probably not, but I know what you mean.
Alan on his knees. Alan on his knees,
Is that
cradling.
what hell's like? Those are seagulls,
Those are winkles and blood.
chopped up knobs.
I think that might be hell, actually. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
that is hell.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Alan on his knees, cradling his bloody nether regions, and the heron gull perched on a wall, picking at what looked like a burst balloon. I look back on this day as a seminal moment of my youth. Yeah. A bit like the movie Stand By Me. Instead of a dead body on the railway tracks, it was a mangled bit of foreskin. It taught me stuff like don't play with yourself in public and other life lessons. Anyhow, the gull didn't know whether to shit or piss. It really hit the jackpot. Towel. Anonymous.
Brilliant.
Gossip number 5.
This is from Anon. Hi, Poppy, Joe and Brian. Here's my bit of gossip. I'm 24 and I went to school in a little village near Staines. When we were 11, we had a horrible, big, lazy, fat history teacher called Mr. Jones, who had a lazy eye. To give you an idea of the man, for one lesson, he made us mark each other's homework while he rolled up and smoked fags out of the window. To this day, I have only ever seen him stand up twice.
Whatever. He went to the window once.
When we filed in at the start of the lesson, he'd be sat in his chair like he'd been poured into it and wouldn't move an inch of his body for the next hour. If he wanted to get our attention, instead of shouting or getting up, he'd lift up one of those pneumatic horn things and squeeze it 3 times. If a pupil was being particularly naughty, he would look at them and tell them to get up and leave. But of course, because of his lazy eye, you couldn't be 100% sure he was looking at you. So normally at least 3 people would end up leaving the classroom. But as he didn't want to get out of his seat or do anything, he just let it happen. It became a bit of a running joke to see how many pupils could get up and leave without him doing anything. Our record was 11.
They just walk out and they get the arse. Stop them.
Anyway, after one summer holiday, we went into our history lesson expecting to see Mr. Jones, but he was nowhere to be seen. A story broke out that he'd been sat down for so long in his chair that one of his legs had fused round the chair and needed to be amputated. Fused around it.
Who starts this?
This rumour spread like wildfire around our school and was fully accepted as true. It got to the point where not a lesson could go by without kids asking the teachers about Mr. Jones. One assembly, our headmaster, Mr. Gold, had to make an announcement to quash the rumour. The headmaster's speech to this day divides opinion. He said that Mr. Jones did not need his leg amputated. Mr. Gold also repeatedly and angrily told us that on the last day of school assembly before the summer holidays, Mr. Jones announced he was retiring, and that's why he wasn't here.
Of course that's why he wasn't here. Fucking legs fused together.
I personally don't remember Mr. Jones making such an announcement, but I was off ill in the last week of term. A few kids say they do remember, but they were all the grasses anyway. A few weeks into the new term, and Mr. Jones never returned. Kids would occasionally claim that they'd seen him in the shops at the weekend. In these various sightings, he always had a different way of dealing with his leg, be it a peg leg, a walking stick, or a full bionic limb. My mate Tom said he saw him coming out of a bookies still in the same chair.
What, like stuck to his arse?
With one of his fat legs fully entwined with one of the chair legs. Like those creeper plants.
What's those legs
Dragging
grow?
himself
Grow around the side of houses like ivy.
How's he getting around just dragging himself with one leg?
Scraping around the parade of shops.
Oh, God.
Ah, dear. That was great, Anon. Thank you.
Gossip number 6. Celebrity.
Lloyd Griffith.
Hello, Gossipmongers. It is Lloyd Griffith here. Big fan of the show, so thanks very much for inviting me on. So I went to school with a lad called Mark, who he worked down at the Cleethorpes beach, where I'm from. I'm from Cleethorpes. He worked down at the beach with a load of lads that basically worked on the fair rides. And they weren't like travellers per se, but they all had at least one earring and always worked with their top off. And they all had really big cars from like a young age, and I was scared shitless of them. But there was one lad that my mate worked with, and there was a rumour going around that he was born with a full size penis. He was born with like an 8-inch knob, as just came out of his mother, but he had like a full size knob. And then there was also another rumour from another set of people that he was born also with a tash. And he's always had a tash from 11 years old. He was one of those early developers, built like an absolute unit, and then was, oh yeah, no, he was actually born with a tash. Oh, there, he was born with a full-size knob as well. And oh, it wouldn't surprise me. And so that was the rumour, that he was born with a full-size knob and also a tash. I actually still see him, this guy, around knocking about Cleethorpes, and 2 earrings now, just in case you're wondering. But yeah, so that's my little bit of rumour, me gossip from Cleethorpes. Honestly, thanks so much, guys. You take care. Bye.
Gossip number 7.
So this is from Anonymous. Hi guys, I have a bit of gossip about a local scallywag and evil genius. Let's call him Gary. Just an introduction, Gary is one of those blokes who is an absolute animal, has 1 kidney and can down a pint of popular stout in 10 seconds with no hands. The rumour revolves around his evil genius and how he saved himself from the embarrassment of shitting himself after a one-night stand after a house party. According to Gareth, he woke up after a night of passion in the host's mum's bed and realised he shat himself and it was a solid log. He took the specimen out from the back of his boxers and placed it gently in the knickers of the woman's asleep beside him.
Such logic. Such
It's very clever. It's very clever.
The woman asleep next to him,
Yeah.
he put it in
In a-
her
in-
It
knickers.
gently
wearing
placed it into... Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
He's still married.
Yeah, he scurried downstairs and he left her to sleep. What makes me believe this gossip is true is that when the woman woke up about an hour later,
Oh, my God.
she
Someone else's shit.
she left the house very sheepishly without saying goodbye, and the bed sheet was missing from the bed. That's true,
Wow.
innit? He
Yeah.
did that. He
Fuck
did
me.
that.
Yeah, respect to Gary.
That's really clever
Yeah.
because she'd be
Yeah,
like,
we will
I
respect
must,
you."
I must have done the shit.
You're not going to go, someone slid that in.
You'd know
Someone
if it.
slid another shit into my pants.
You'd know if it. I don't know. I think I'd know if it was my own shit or not. Just
Okay,
by...
Poppy. Okay.
So, no, continue. Don't shut her down, David. It's her forum as much as yours.
I need to express this.
Continue.
Yeah, go
How
on.
would you know it was your
Just
shit
because
rather
I'm-
than someone else's?
Because I'm used to what my shit is like. Is that?
Are they all the same?
Yeah. Regular.
Every day they're exactly the same. You never had diarrhea,
That's
never had
normal and
diarrhea or
healthy.
anything.
Yeah, but then I'll be like, I'm ill. But
So when you have diarrhea, you think it's someone else's.
I'd be like, I know what's
You do
happening.
know you're turning all the boys on here, Poppy.
Even more people are going to fancy you
I
now.
need to
And I
turn
didn't
some
think that
people
was
away.
possible. You know who I like? Do you know who I really like? The one with the regular poos.
Really regular.
She knows her poos. She can pick them out of a lineup. Third, 5 and 7 are mine.
Correct.
You're through to the next round. Poos are us on
Shit.
ITV4.
Joe, Pulpy, and David will now choose their favourite rumour.
You look muscly.
What?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, you
No, I
do.
don't.
No,
Yeah,
he
you
doesn't.
do. I saw.
What?
Flex.
Fucking hell, this is great. Can we keep this in? Don't stomp on that, David.
Sorry, no, you do. Okay, so I'm going to read out the top 5 of this episode, and slight change in plan. We're all going to write our favourite down and not tell each other.
Secretly.
Yeah, we're going to write it down secretly and then reveal to one another.
At the same time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So the top 5 are Cashew Nut Wank Above a Shop,
Good title.
Alan and the Seagull,
Yep.
Teacher Who Never Stood Up,
Shit, I thought, yeah. I'm stuck.
Whack My Knob Like a Tomato Sauce Bottle,
These are probably the best titles we've ever had.
And Teddy Fingers.
Oh.
Over to you.
Shit. Can you read them again?
Teddy Fingers.
Yep.
Whack my knob like a tomato sauce bottle. Cashew nut wank. Behind a pub or behind a shop or whatever. Alan and the Seagull and the teacher who never stood up. Okay. So Poppy and Joe are just writing down their answers.
I'm going to pass you the pen now for your...
Okay.
There we go, David. Good luck, everyone. Oh, you can read one. One's come through.
I can't see it though.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Off 3. 1, 2, 3.
Alan and the Seagull.
Alan and the Seagull.
Oh!
Poppy's put Alan Winkle.
Alan
That's
Winkle.
fine.
We did say Seagull, but
Yeah.
so that's the same, right?
Yeah, he was my old football manager.
What,
Alan Winkle.
No.
So many lies, Dave.
Yeah. Brilliant. So Poppy's now going to open up the window and tell
Oh my
the world
God.
that
was
piece
a
of
long
gossip.
one though.
And,
Yeah.
A big crowd has
Jesus.
gathered again.
Okay,
Here we go.
We've got real momentum on this podcast now.
Yeah.
Just give them what they want, Poppy.
Hold on.
Classic start with an
That was a quiet one.
Really?
There was a guy, Alan.
That bloke's
kept-
looking at you.
Is someone saying?
Yeah, someone's looking at you.
There's a guy playing with his foreskin constantly to the point where it completely made it huge. And then there's also
It completely made it huge.
there's also
Good sentence.
a winkle man selling winkles.
Wasn't he the
Welk man.
Welk
Oh,
man?
sorry.
It's fine.
That's right.
Let her do
It's her
Chinese
gig,
whispers.
sorry.
isn't it?
Sorry.
Welk man selling whelks. Alan was like, I can fit 50 whelks in my foreskin. And they said, fuck off. So he starts
Louder.
shoving them in. He starts shoving them in his foreskin. And
I love this bit.
he gets to 48 and a gull appears. And then
A gull.
a gull sweeps down and
You're
rips,
losing them, Poppy.
rips. Please stay.
What?
I need to finish. Please stay. This is
Very needy this week.
it rips his foreskin off. The gull does, and
Not the Welk man.
he's all the whelks go everywhere, and there's blood everywhere, and it's pecking at his foreskin.
It's hell. It's basically hell.
It's hell.
It was like a scene from hell.
All right, that's it. Bye.
Didn't bother with the end of it.
Well done, Poppy.
Great work, Poppy.
That was
Thank you.
pretty much all of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
you absolutely
Yeah.
nailed it.
Oh, I feel disgusted.
Do you?
Can people see?
Yeah.
Shut the window. Pull the curtains, actually. Pull the curtains. Right.
Oh well.
Right.
Thank
for
you
listening.
everybody for
Yeah.
listening.
Oh.
Thanks for sending in your.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
We couldn't do it without you.
No.
Yeah.
Because we
We just
did no
genuinely
work.
couldn't.
All right.
So,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
See ya.
Welcome to
Grandmother's mental.
No,
Gyrating mistress.
no,
Guildford Market.
no. Gossipmongers. Yes, yes, yes. That's it. Yes. Gossipmongers. Fantastic. Here we go then. Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Gossip number 1.
It's from Nick. I have some gossip from the area about a charlatan who I think you'd all like. There was a bloke who sold fruit and veg at the market who people locally called Shippo. No idea why he had that nickname. He liked to frequent the pubs after his shift. When he was short on cash for a pint, he'd go up to people in the pub and say, I can hold a stack of 10p's up my arsehole for a minute. If you can provide the change and let me keep it, I will perform the trick.
How many? It's just a stack.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, actually, he said it was a stack of 10 10p's.
Okay.
He could hold up his arsehole for a minute. I thought this was unsubstantiated gossip for a long time until I witnessed it myself in the pub one Sunday evening. He offered to do the trick. It's called the trick.
Is that what it's called? The trick.
The trick. He offered to do the trick in front of me and my mates. The pub landlord said, if you're going to do it, Shippo, don't do it by the bar. Go to the Skittles table. Yeah. So me and my mate got 10 pence pieces and stacked them high on a bar stool by the Skittles table. And Shippo then got naked and sat on the stack of coins. And once they were up his Harris, he walked around the pub for a minute.
What's that?
He the part of the trick, David.
He does
is
it
to
for a
keep
minute.
Doing there for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
Why the whole thing?
No, just why only for a minute?
What would you want?
Maybe it got-
Fortnight.
Maybe they'd fall out eventually, I think. I don't really know.
Fortnight.
Come back from your holidays, it's still up there.
He's very sure that it's a minute. It's annoying me.
Probably count it down, don't they? 60.
Yeah.
After the minute was up, he unclenches and the 10p's drop to the floor.
Oh, so he has to tense, right?
Oh, it's
then.
not
Yeah.
in his arsehole.
Yeah,
Is it
it's
just
in
in
his
his...
Yeah, they're all
Oh,
up
right.
the arsehole.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
he-
but he has to tense, so it turns out he has to tense to keep him up there. So
Right.
he earns it.
He earns the praise.
They'd stay up anyway, wouldn't they? I
Don't
think.
know, Poppy.
I
That's
can
where
try
we
it.
differ. You're not fazed by this at all, are you, Poppy?
I think it seems quite easy.
Okay, I think we know how we're ending this podcast. So cocky. This is the trick.
Yeah.
Don't
I'm not
knock
impressed.
the
Really.
trick. I think it's quite easy.
It would be. Don't you reckon?
No, I'm not putting the quiz worth.
Dangerous.
It's
Definitely
like
dangerous. It's up
Yeah.
your arse. It's metal up your arse. Isn't it dangerous? Of course it's fucking
only if one gets lost.
not
What
quite
about if 9 get lost?
Just get one.
Put them out at 60p there. 40. Dodged.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Quite. That's why we're here.
You don't seem that bothered. Doing it for us now.
Yes, let's just see what happens.
Yeah. After the minute was up, he unclenches and the 10p's drop to the floor, making the clanging sound like someone winning the jackpot on a fruit machine. He then picks up the change, and along with the other change he had, he buys a pint in the pub. I never drank in the pub again, scared that the change I would get had been up his arsehole.
That's fair, to be fair.
Also, I've never bought fruit and veg from him in the market for the same reason. There you go.
Good
Great.
stuff.
Yeah.
Shippo and the bum trick. That sounds like a kid's book, doesn't it? Like
Shippo and the bum
Shippo
trick.
and the bum trick. Mum, can you read that, Mum?
That famous five.
Shippo and the bum trick.
Bigger than Harry Potter.
Gossip number 2.
What bollocks.
Yeah. Okay, this is from David Nottingham. I don't know if that's David in Nottingham or... It's called David Nottingham.
Confused herself already.
Worried. I'm worrying about it. Loved the podcast, and I thought I'd tell you about some bollocks that got told to me a year ago, which was admittedly intriguing. Put loads of commas in this. For no
Commas?
reason. Yeah.
Commas. Nothing wrong with loads of commas.
When I was a student in the late 90s, I was working on a site in Peterborough. One of the engineers I was working with told me about some of his sexual exploits. Oh. He claimed he would place a quantity of talcum powder onto his stomach and then spaff his load onto his quite considerable gut. He would then mix up the ingredients and roll the love dough up in a ball.
I'm out. I'm out.
So he'd roll it up into a ball and then put it in the bin.
And put it in the bin. What a waste of everyone's time. Fucking hell.
What a twat.
Kills 20 minutes, doesn't it, you Burke?
It seems quite a neat way to deal with the fallout of an orgasm, but I've never sought to try it myself, especially now talcum powder has a negative health impact.
Is it?
Cancer.
Is it?
I think so.
Shit. Could you get wanker's lung? Question mark.
Wanker's lung.
He also claimed that he could clamp his mouth around his wife's arsehole.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Sort of change your gear as well, isn't it?
Clamp.
Around it.
Like a crocodile.
Does it stick out or?
Sticky out arsehole. Not a belly button. Do you have an outie? Do you have an outie or an innie? My wife's got an outie. Quite rare. Then I've like clamping my gob round it.
I'll say again. He also
Say again. Stop banging your head on the desk, David.
He also claimed that he would clamp his mouth around his wife's arsehole when she farted.
Oh, fuck off.
To catch the outburst.
Oh, fucking hell.
David,
Stressing
it's
everyone out.
fine. It's not your life.
God, I can't believe you
It's not
missed
your
that
life.
out the first time you read it.
That little vital bit of information.
Christ. Oh.
I so prefer it when you read them properly.
He likes it.
Oh, God.
He proudly said that it was fizzy and, needless to say, tangy.
This is horrible.
It's fine.
Really?
It's fine.
It's really sick.
For the listener
sick
at
and
home,
juicy.
David can't stop rubbing his eyes.
Got a tangy eye.
Backdraft.
Coincidentally, at the time, Natalie Imbruglia's Big and the Steak was a big hit, and we all know what she was singing about when she sang the immortal line, "Think of all the bubbles of love we've made." What is he saying?
Why,
Okay.
I do not know that song
No, I don't.
or that line.
Okay.
So the reference is utterly wasted.
The immortal lines.
From that famous B-side of Natalie Imbruglia. Fucking hell, mate.
Gossip number 3.
This is from Ben. This juicy little bit of gossip started in the 80s, continued into the 90s, and may well continue on into the future. Here's hoping. My older brother, my sister for the 6th form, and myself all attended the same middle-of-the-road Surrey public boarding school. One day, one of the boys, Boy A, went round to his mate's house, and while he was there, he discovered a videotape upon which had been recorded the saucy antics of his friend's parents. From what I've heard, it included the father, we'll call him Mr. Smith, instructing Mrs. Smith to get your nylons off. Before walking into view sporting a fine pair of leather Grundies with a zip. Then they got butt naked and started to fuck.
Get to the point.
Boy A did whatever any self-respecting, God-fearing friend would do in the same situation and took it upon himself to steal the aforementioned videotape, take it into school and show it to everyone in his house for a week or so, and then distribute it to all of the other houses in the school to enjoy. That could have been that, except that one day, at some point afterwards, it turned out not to be. A different boy had been waiting at the train station in his school uniform when a car pulled up. The window rolled down and a lady offered to give him a lift up to school as her son went there too. They chatted a bit on the journey. It became clear she was none other than Mrs. Smith. The boy may have said something about her nylons or about her husband's Grundies. We'll probably never know what, but suffice it to say she knew exactly what he was going on about. The boy got deposited at school and Mrs. Smith went on her way. The next day, Smith Jr. was nowhere to be seen. And in fact, he never again returned to that school. But there were rumours that his parents did not take to it very well. The story went down in school folklore to be repeated by various gossipmongers over the year. That could have been that. Except that one day, at some point afterwards, it turned out not to be. One such gossipmonger decided it was a good idea to dust off the old Smith story to a dinner party of friends, strangers and acquaintances. That gossipmonger was my sister. The story went down extremely well and everyone had a great laugh at the Smith's expense. Or so my sister thought. Soon after the meal had finished, however, one of the slightly older couples that had been in attendance made a hasty exit.
Oh my God.
Upon some very light detective work, it became apparent that their son had once attended the very same school that we had, and that they were Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And fuck me, if my sister hadn't just told the Smith story to the very stars of the 80s amateur fuck tape.
Oh, amazing.
That could have been that. Except that one day, at some point afterwards, it turned out not to be. You guys decided to start a gossip gang. And decided that the Smith story would be perfect for it.
If he's got another level after this, then I'm that.
I like to think that the Smiths have put all this behind them for the umpteenth time and have moved on with their lives. However, a tiny evil piece of me can't help but hope that they'll be walking down the road in the very near future, only to hear Poppy yelling their story out of the window for the whole world to hear just one last time.
Oh, superb.
Love the podcast. Brilliant, Ben.
Well done.
Wow.
Gossip number 4.
Hello all. I've been umming and ahhing about sending you this gossip as it involves my mum.
I don't think you should have sent it in, to be honest.
So for the sake of anonymity, let's call her Keith.
I like you already.
Keith used to grow quite a lot of weed in her garden.
Auntie Keith.
Funnily enough, though, this wasn't the strangest thing about Keith. She was also a witch.
Ooh.
Not flying monkeys, more pentagrams and drugs. It was fucking mental as a teenager having to explain this to your friends' parents. Anyway, sometimes me, Keith, and some of her friends and their kids would go to these weird fucking camps in Wiltshire and Devon. Us teenagers, brackets or Jews, as we're hatefully called, would spend most of our time trying to drink, get high and have sex with someone we didn't think had an STD. We'd also spend 2 weeks watching our parents try to connect with nature, which looks suspiciously to us like a nervous breakdown.
I can imagine it so well.
Oh, God.
I can't. I haven't lived in that world.
These camps were run by fascists. You were not allowed alcohol or meat on some of them, so we had to literally hide it by cutting a secret compartment into my friend's old Morris Minor and hoping the Stasi at the gate didn't rumble us.
Awful way to spend your holiday.
No meat.
Someone was so desperate for a lovely few slices of bacon that they strapped them to the inside of the car's engine.
I don't understand this at all.
Unfortunately, it caught fire, which only made matters worse as the scent of the frying bacon wafted over the entire camp. Anyway, I digress. The rumour involved Keith and a few of her mates who decided on the last night of the camp to have a little bit of acid. I was not present as I had to leave early to get back for the start of school. Anyway.
He's school age.
Anyway, one of the guys with them completely underestimated the strength of the acid and downed a large portion of it. Everyone thought he was going to die. He didn't. However, at 3 a.m. on a calm and chilly night, let's call him Rod felt the full force of an acid trip gone terribly wrong. At first, it started with a howl. And then it progressed with an ominous chant of, I am God, I am God, I am God, starting slowly and rhythmically, but quickly progressing to a cacophonous roar. Everyone woke up and made their way out of their tents to try to make out what was happening. There were always a lot of weird fuckers, so you were never sure what was going to happen next. In this case, Rod happened next. He burst forth from...
Stressing me out.
It's what's stressing you out. Yeah. You don't look stressed.
No,
Feet on the...
look like you're on a chaise longue.
My back's hurting.
Fucking hell. Hate to see you relaxed.
Rod burst forth from Keith's bender, brackets a type of hippie tent, and spread his arms wide, shouting, I am God, I am God, I am God, I am God. He was absolutely stark bollock naked, hand around the base of his massive penis, and whirling it around like a fleshy propeller.
I am God.
I have this particular detail from 3 eyewitness accounts. He managed to evade all attempts of capture by the hippie Stasi, shitting himself in the process and ran for his freedom out of the field into the darkness of the night.
I am God.
Jesus Christ.
People said that they could still hear him screaming for hours afterwards.
I am God.
Others said that he'd managed to make it all the way to Swindon. All I know is that when I next saw Rod, I could see by the look in his eyes that he was a changed man. It was as if he really had found God. I'm just thankful that he did not have sex with Keith.
Bring Keith.
On a side note, when Keith got home, she found all her weed plants had been ripped up by a family friend because he thought she was going to get raided by the armed police. Turns out they were just there to get our next door neighbour's boy for GBH. But that's another story. Cheers, guys. Paolo.
Oh. Amazing.
Gossip number 5. Celebrity. Richard Osman.
Hello guys, Richard here. I hope all is well. Listen, I just wanted to pass something on. Listen, I didn't see it, but I heard it. Martin saw it for sure. I think it was in the Wheat Chief, but it might have been the Bent Arm, so forgive me. But listen, this is what happened. Gary Dodds, who, listen, you may not know, apparently managed to fit 14 50-pence pieces under his foreskin. Started with a few, it got out of hand. There was a whip round, ended up with 14 tucked under there. That is what I'm hearing. As I say, listen, I know someone who saw it for real. Worth remembering as well that this would have been 86, 87, and the 50p was even bigger back then. Listen, just telling you what I heard. Cheers, guys.
Gossip number 6.
This is from Stu. Hello, it's true this. Growing up on a council estate in Bolton in the 1980s could be rather grim. Me and my mates didn't have a pot to piss in, so aside from searching the local undergrowth and bus stops for discarded jazz periodicals left by the parish perverts, there wasn't much in the way of entertainment. One day we found a grumble mag dedicated entirely to ladies with colossal busters pouring gravy all over themselves, which our mate Lee insisted on keeping. He fucking loved gravy. Anyway, as was probably common in the late 80s on the bleak estates of England, there was a Mad Mary, an infamous-looking character best known for flashing her wrinkled pasty at the local lads.
Pasty.
I know what he means.
It was whispered amongst the adolescent boys that Mad Mary would let you bum her for a can of special brew, a small gift, and a lock of your hair.
All those things.
Apparently, she kept a small pair of scissors by her bed and would take a chunk of hair as the young lad was pumping away.
She'd lean behind her. That takes some doing.
Everyone knew Mad Mary lived in a shabby little house on the edge of the estate. One day, a couple of us spotted our mate Lee scurrying with some purpose in the direction of her house. A closer look revealed that he had a can of special brew clutched in one hand, and he had neatly combed his normally scruffy hair. We followed him discreetly, and in a state of considerable excitement to discover that he was indeed paying Mad Mary a visit. From our hiding point behind a nearby fence, we watched spellbound as he knocked on the door, feet shuffling nervously as he waited for it to open. It opened, and there stood Mad Mary, who clearly asked what Lee wanted. After a brief exchange, her demeanour changed, and she started to chase Lee down her path and out onto the street.
God.
As he ran, a can of special brew dropped to the floor and rolled into the gutter, a stream of expletives spewing from the wrinkled lips of Mad Mary, calling him a pervert and a fucking weirdo. At this point, a second object fell from his coat pocket. It was a small red tub of Bisto gravy granules.
The gift.
Gift. Mary ran out of steam and started walking back to her house, and we watched as Lee ran back towards his house. A several quid pourer, full balls, but a beautifully untouched head of hair.
So the gravy granules he wanted to mix and pour onto Grotty Maggie's booze.
Oh, yeah.
I might know what that book's called.
What book?
Really?
The with busty women in.
Oh, really?
Is that real? With
Because
gravy?
my friend had a hardback version of it. It was called Girls in Sauce.
That's amazing.
Well, there you go.
Pouring
And you
gravy
could get it in a
over.
hardback copy because he had it. And how do I know? Because his girlfriend caught it, found it in the cupboard. What's this? And he went, "That's my Girls in Sauce book."
Sauce.
Girls in Sauce.
That's amazing.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so I know that's fact.
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite room.
Right, so I'm going to read out the top 5 rumours of this week, and we're each going to write down our favourite and then reveal it to...
Each other at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, number 1 is Shippo and the Bum Trick.
Jesus, forgot about
Shippo and the Bum Trick.
I
Such
remember
a
enjoying
title.
Shippo and the Bum Trick.
Yeah.
Number
10
2 is the Acid Hippies.
Yeah. Yep.
Number 3 is the Smiths and the Ongoing Gossip.
That is good. Yeah.
Number 4 is Mad Mary and the Gravy Granules.
This is quite Radio 4 when you did that. God, I'm between two.
I am as well. Yeah. I'm just gonna put.
Yeah, no, I've got mine. When you've done yours, I'll write mine down. Are we keeping this gap in while
This
we
is
write?
wonderful. I love this part of the show now.
But are we keeping the silence in where we think about it?
Yeah.
Building
This is
tension,
lovely.
isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, ready. Okay, so how are we going to do it?
After 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. The Smiths! Wow!
It doesn't matter if it was only 2, but 3 felt good.
Wow!
No hesitation.
Yeah. The Smiths.
Oh.
Right, Poppy, you've got to open up the window
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
come on.
and tell the whole world the
David,
gossip.
how many are you expecting at the top of this?
I'm gonna try to. Like,
Definitely
make
one
that
solid
not
one.
Well, we've had one already. As soon as you said it was her turn to open the... That was, right, so open the window then.
Okay.
Okay.
Having a proper think.
I know.
Go on, chuck an Ermin.
Here we go.
Chuck an Ermin, just calm yourself down. Is there a crowd out?
There's a crowd. Yeah.
Oh, because that was making you nervous.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's really taking
Do you know what?
us
I
way too
can't.
soon.
I can't start a sentence without it.
David will edit out the erm. 3, there was 3.
Yeah.
The Smiths. Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I've got
Great.
mind blank.
This
All
is
right.
great podcasting. I can feel us slipping down the charts.
The Smiths and the Ongoing Gossip.
I'm pouring with sweat. It's so hard to not say that. Someone found a tape of the Smiths. The man
Not the
was
band.
like, take your nylons off.
What were his pants made
Just want to
of?
apologise to all the listeners.
You've probably switched off now, but if you haven't, you've fallen asleep. Wake up.
Leather pants. And boy A watched it, bring it to school,
Not
spread it
using
round
whole
school,
sentences anymore.
spread it round school, and everyone knew about it.
Has the crowd dispersed, Poppy?
Some have left, yeah. Loads of people saw it, and then the guy, I don't know, a woman picked the guy up at one of the kids up.
Not just any woman.
Mrs. Smith
Yep.
picked the kid up.
What did he do?
He he said about the nylon.
Yeah.
Nylon.
And then the following
Said
day,
about
who?
I just hear the buzz of the microphone.
That's because there's silence.
Dead
And
air.
so who didn't turn up the following day after that? Do you remember? Who didn't turn up? Was it boy A?
Oh, the boy that spread the gossip round the school, which was their son.
Yeah,
And then at a dinner party, the author's sister. Do you know what? Just two.
Yeah, just say you don't know.
Just two old people had sex on a tape.
Yeah.
does feel.
No, just close the window.
No, does feel quite apt that story ended. It didn't get spread anymore after all the layers it
I
had
feel
gone through.
really guilty.
Yeah, that's all right. You're tired, aren't you? You didn't sleep well last night.
Which you
I
slept
didn't
through till
sleep
about 10:30, so she should be all right. I think that's a power finish to the...
Yeah.
I feel awful.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ill.
Tired.
Tired, but sad about the Smiths rumour.
Oh,
Hasn't
right.
gone on.
I'm
So
really feeling guilty.
I think it's a
little
perfect way
bit.
to end the Smiths'
Yeah.
journey.
just
They're probably like, oh, thank God it stopped there.
Yeah.
Probably still filmed each other.
I said the main bit, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really tired.
Okay.
On that bombshell.
Yeah. Should we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for sending in your
Yeah,
rumours.
thanks, everyone.
Thank
See you
you.
on the next one.
Bye. Bye.
Welcome to Glistening Mackerel. No. Godson's Measles. No. Gravestones Mossy. No. Gossipmongers.
Yes.
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 Gossipmongers. Yes. That's the one. That's the baby. Gossipmongers. Bloody right it is. Let's do this. Let's listen to some gossip. Gossip number 1.
This is from Mark. As a 15-year-old in the last year of senior school in Hull, a friend of mine managed to successfully secure a Saturday job in Comet. The pay was pitiful and the prospects were too, but being a bit thick, Craig decided this would be an ideal career choice.
Being a bit thick.
Thick.
Signing up for full-time boredom with the retail giant as soon as he'd left school. It was not long before I discovered why. After our regular Monday night game of five-a-side, Craig revealed the biggest appeal of his new job was his favourite lunchtime ritual. Not content with eating a sandwich and reading the paper, Craig preferred to relax by going to the toilet and removing all of his clothes before meticulously folding them up and placing them, and his shoes with his socks in, on the cistern, behind the privacy of the cubicle toilet door. He would then proceed to have a comet wank
Oh.
over the customer who he had most taken a fancy to during the morning shift. A comet wank.
So if somebody fancied coming
Yeah.
in, he'd log it.
He'd log it, get new. Deep done, he'd pop the uniform back on and head back out to the shop floor to sell VHS recorders to the masses.
Comet
Oh,
wank.
God.
Oh, God.
Brings a whole new meaning to the phrase, you know where to come. Comet.
Gossip number 2.
22 years ago, two families we knew from school swapped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dad 1 stayed at the top of the Shire on the farm.
Fucking hell. When was it? 200 years ago?
22, actually.
22 years ago, sorry. 222 years ago. Top of the fucking Shire. What about? Field?
Yeah. Dad 2's wife and 3 sons and 1 daughter moved 10 miles to the top of the Shire to live with him. Dad 2 stayed at the bottom of the Shire.
It's like that fox and a grain and a
Yeah.
chicken.
It's exactly like that, yes.
Dad 2 stayed at the bottom of the Shire, where it's more civilised.
Stop saying fucking Shire.
Dad 1's wife and 3 daughters moved 10 miles to the bottom of the Shire to live with him. Not a wife swap, but a full family swap. All in. And then he just says, mental. And that's it. So stupid.
I reckon he's gone, oh. He looks back and he goes, I only sent the first bit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, it just says, new line, mental.
Mental. That's it.
I kind of wish all of them were like that.
Yeah.
Gossip number 3.
So this is from Anon. Boarding school is a funny old place. Night times would be even creepier. There would be us all tucked up in bed, the lights are out, and then walks in a teacher. We'll call him Penfold. He'd shine a torch over our faces as we slept to make sure we were actually asleep. I could never normally sleep in that weird place and would just scrunch my eyes up tightly and hope the torchlight would go away. He would walk to the end of the dormitory. He would walk to the dormitory, swing on his heels and head back. Then he was gone and more weirdness would ensue. The Japanese student would shout orders in Japanese in his sleep. One of the guys walked up and down the dormitory shaking his tablets.
His what?
Tablets. He obviously had a pod tablets.
Oh, I thought tablets meant like balls or something.
We were sworn that this particular chap was nearly a 40. Sorry.
What?
We swore this particular chap was actually a 40-year-old man rather than a 13-year-old boy.
Oh, God.
A lot of people called him the narc.
No.
Some fucker was always wanking too. You could tell with the creaking bed. And one kid once started quoting The Exorcist.
What a great room.
To the dorm captain in his sleep. Just one flew over the cookie. One of these odd nights, we heard some gossip. Oh, that's not even it. Fucking hell.
God.
It was late, and Penfold had done his rounds, and the dorm captain had popped out of the fire escape to have a cheeky fag. My pal, who in brackets slept next to me, and I heard their conversation that we have never been able to forget since that fateful evening. Apparently, that night, one of the boys who had a deformed hand that was shaped like a croissant.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
I just got a great image.
Yes, Poppy's not sorry.
Not sorry. Croissant hand.
He was naturally known as croissant.
God,
Well, of course.
Was caught touching another boy with his croissant-shaped hand.
oh, God.
The witness was, of course, sent into shock and ran to tell our dorm captains about what he referred to as the croissant job.
Oh, God. I'm worried about this person. That's
This
done
is
it.
bad as well, isn't it? We both had to hold in our laughter, especially as my pal was giving me the wanker gesture with his hand shaped like a croissant. That was pretty much the gist of the conversation we'd heard. Within days, the wildfire had spread and people were starting to use their breakfast to describe what happened to those who weren't in the who weren't in the know. One guy used a crusty croissant and a little sausage to show us exactly how and what had happened. Whilst others walked about with butter splattered croissants in their hands. And then threw them at each other, pretending the butter was jizz. It was all a bit weird. Did he want to be croissant?
Honestly, the last 5 minutes, all I'm doing is laughing at this croissant-shaped hand in my head. It's the image.
Can I
That
ask,
slammed
did the
into my
guy
head.
got croissanted off? Did he want it?
I don't know what you mean.
Well-
Is this abuse?
Yeah. The pupils in question seemed okay about it,
Okay.
which always made me
heavens.
question about its authenticity. Boarding school was rife with this kind of gossip. Even I was at the butt end of one, apparently. I got a boner during the cough and drop examination. I didn't, but there you go. Right, I just want to. I think they wanted it.
Okay.
I think they were croissanting each other off.
Right. We're just going to check the
We're just going to
details.
check that no one was croissanted when they didn't want it.
against their...
No one was cross-hunted against their will, were they?
Joe's just going through the fine with a fine tooth
We're going to get the
comb.
legal department involved. It was caught touch. Yeah, so they were caught touching another boy with his croissant-shaped hand.
And was that other boy happy?
The witness was, of course, sent into shock and ran to tell the door.
Into
Yeah,
shock.
I think they were croissanting each other.
Wonderful!
So why not? Why fucking not?
Gossip number 4.
There, this is from Office Boy.
Oh, I like him already.
Yeah. At the tender age of 18, myself and a best friend were trusted to work together in a serviced office. Basically, we rented office space where we provided each office with a reception and we were responsible for all their needs. We had this one client we hated called Caroline.
Sounds really normal. They
Yeah.
just hate her.
She used to love complaining about us. She was very Scottish, and for some reason this didn't help. Anyway, every morning we would have to deliver all the posts to the different offices. We hated this job, so we invented an elaborate game to decide which of us had to do it. It involved trying to bounce a rubber in a bin on the other side of the room. The game got to such extremes that we would play a mini game first to decide who got to choose which rubber we used.
I love it.
This would sometimes delay us by an hour and cause the post to be delivered late. After a particularly epic game that went on for over an hour, our enemy, Caroline, complained about our lateness. This enraged us, and rightly so, in my opinion. To get our revenge, we hid her orthopaedic chair in another office.
God.
It turns out this chair was worth over $1,000.
This is really boring.
To our horror, she called the police and reported the theft. The next day, in our panic, we decided to dismantle the chair into as many pieces as we could. Then put all the
stupid
pieces
idea.
into individual boxes and carried them down to the bins.
God.
Unfortunately, this causes our pre-post delivery game to be late and the post to be delivered at a record late time. What followed was another complaint and a bit of finger pointing about Caroline's stupid chair.
Caroline's done nothing
She
wrong.
hasn't done anything.
Well,
She
she
just
might be a
want-
prat.
She
though.
just wants her fucking post.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't blame her.
We were understandably very cross and put out by this and decided to get our revenge. Caroline used to use an annoying headset for her phone calls. The microphone part would set millimeters from her mouth.
Oh, God.
Early in the morning the next day, my friend broke into her office, pulled his pants down and got into a squat position.
Oh, God.
He then inserted the microphone into his anus as far as it would go.
This is Caroline's headset. The voice bit.
Yeah.
The Janet Jackson bit.
Yeah, yeah. The Janet Jackson up is Janet Jacksy. When he pulled it out, a little brown nugget
Of course.
stuck on the end.
I thought you didn't like shit stories, David.
Wow.
One in round.
Yeah, this is high quality. We both decided to do a sniff test. It was horrendous. The worst thing was he left the nugget on it.
Oh, God. I can't even keep up with what. This was
yeah.
revenge for what?
Yeah.
For basically asking for a post on time. Got a fucking... It's just for being efficient.
We then ran off as fast as we could, laughing. Later that day, Caroline showed up and was her usual angry self. to throw up. When she came into our office to complain about something, she had the headset on. I laughed so hard in her face that I wet my pants.
This is so puerile.
I had to go home, I was so wet. And I had to pretend to be ill. Caroline left not long after.
Such a basic human. Do you know what? Everyone's grown up with those two lads, haven't they? Just a couple of idiots in an office job, not working properly and blaming everyone else. Just do your fucking job, lads. Why is Caroline being mean? Because you're fucking useless. I'm totally on Caroline's side. Fucking wankers.
Oh, my stomach.
Jesus.
Gossip number 5.
This is from Anonymous. Where I grew up, we had an infamous local fella who, although he had a house and indeed a family, he would more often than not be seen hammered and trying to fight off flies. By this, I don't mean he stank and flies gravitated towards him, but that he would stand there trying to physically fight the flies, fists swinging wildly in the air, his face a scrunched up ball of pissed up anger. Let's call this terrifying stray Danny. One Sunday afternoon, whilst enjoying a kickabout with a few mates, coats for goalposts, Danny turned up, shirt off, waving a can of McEwen's. He set himself up a short distance off and proceeded to give the flies a good kicking. When all of a sudden a shot goes unsaved and the ball comes to rest a foot away from Danny. Like cowards, we were all willing to give up and go home. Until one of us, the saintly Simon, said he'd go and get it. Simon is the nicest bloke you could ever meet. And would do anything for anyone. For no other reason other than to help out. We, on the other hand, were not so lovely.
I'm so in now.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to Simon? Lovely, lovely Simon.
I'm scared.
I am as well. It's like fucking Stephen King.
Danny playfully tried to dribble the ball and nutmeg Simon, to which Simon played along until he could get the ball far enough away from Danny's feet that he could pick it up and return to the pitch. Danny followed Simon. And the only solution to his insistence in joining our game was to let him go in goal. He seemed quite happy with this and stood there with his top off, can in hand, shouting, "No chance," at us repeatedly. No chance. No chance, mate.
I can picture this all so well.
No chance. The upshot was we all hung further and further back down the pitch, away from Danny, taking fewer and fewer shots at him. No chance. Simon, however, being too nice, didn't want to upset him,
No.
and so still played the odd easy ball, which Danny would stagger towards. Managed to get... which Danny would stagger towards, managed to get his body in the way somehow, and then shout, "No chance." No chance. Eventually, a shot was played. Which smacked Danny full on in the face, sent him toppling over on the goal line. Before his body had even hit the grass, every one of us had run off. Every one of us, that is.
Except Simon?
Except
Oh,
Simon,
Simon.
who was left all alone to make sure his new best mate was all right and to pick up our coats. This was the first time this had happened, though. ...
Oh, God. Please don't make us wait till next week.
A few years before, the same group of mates all went to the boys' brigade together. And one of the fun activities we got up to involved trying to get a medicine ball from one end of the hall to the other.
What has happened to the story?
We said this
gone
isn't
back
the
in
first
time.
time
Oh,
this
this
has happened.
isn't?
Yeah.
No, this
Yeah.
this wasn't the first time this has happened, though.
Sorry.
So yeah, a few years before, same group of mates were at the boys' brigade together, and one of the fun activities was we got up to involved trying to get a medicine ball from one end of the hall to the other, whilst the other team tried and stop you. One of the officers was a very ancient chap who was in his late 80s and would shuffle about smoking his pipe, almost oblivious to the rest of the world about him. One Friday evening, whilst we were mid-murder ball, he decided to cross the hall with a pint of milk in his hand to go and make a cuppa, just as saintly Simon threw the heavy medicine ball across the hall. It made full contact with the ancient one's head.
Oh, God.
Before it hit the floor, every single one of us had run out or found a bloody good hiding place. All except for Simon. He suddenly found himself in a deserted hall with an 80-year-old man floored by his own hand. He says he can distinctly remember watching the milk bottle fall and roll on its base in a slow motion before coming to rest. Stood up, having not spilt a drop. Simon went away to teach English to foreign kids abroad, and we didn't see him for a few years. When he returned, we treated him like a long-lost hero and had a night out in Exmouth on the booze in his honour. To show him how much he was loved, whole plants were pulled up from the flower beds along the seafront and presented to him as a bouquet, and much fun and laughter was had by all. Until the police, having seen our antics on CCTV, pulled up and arrested Simon. After all, it was he that was in possession of the stolen flowers and shrubs. He ended up being given a caution for his floral misdemeanour. And being the lovely, nice bloke he is, never complained once about any of it. Rumour has it that despite that caution being long wiped from his police file, he still comes clean about it on job applications and in interviews, as he feels it's better that it comes from him rather than they find out later.
Oh, my God. I so love Simon.
I do as
He's
well.
such a nice man.
I'll marry Simon.
I'd marry Simon.
I would as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, Simon, you're the nuts.
Gossip number 6. Celebrity. Harriet Kemsley.
Hello, this is Harriet Kemsley and I've got a rumour. So back in Canterbury there's this club, it's called Bars, so it's like a sheep but a bar twice. And then right on one side there's like a normal road where you enter the club. And then the other side is like the dual carriageway. And then 20 feet up there's just a random like door in the wall, but like it doesn't lead to anywhere because it's just air. And then my friend Ed told me that his friend Pete, he went to the club and he was dancing, but then he leant on the wall and he fell out the door. And then he was suddenly on the dual carriageway and he was like, oh, and he had to run off the dual carriageway. And then he was a bit shaken and he went back to the club and he told the bouncer, I fell out the door onto the dual carriageway. And then the bouncer didn't believe him because he thought he was on drugs. And so then he knew that his friend stashed a change of clothes in a bush where it was. So he went and changed into his friend's clothes and he went back because the bouncers never remember your face, they just remember your clothes. So then he got back in again and he went up to the same place to try and investigate, but then he fell out the door again on just a dual carriageway again. But nobody saw it either time, but he swears that it's true. Just kept falling out the door, and I don't know what happened to him after that.
Gossip number 7.
This is from Michael. All right, guys. There was a girl in the year above me at secondary school who not many people knew her name. Everyone knew her as Sweaty Poo.
Oh dear.
Rumour had it that she had a shit once and it came out perfectly covered in sweat.
Oh, God, that's made me angry. It's freaked me
Poppy's
out.
angry. Like it was wrapped up in cling film with no creases or nothing.
What do they mean? No creases or anything.
How could you have a sweaty?
I remember thinking it was weird, everyone calling her that. But if you said, all right, Sweaty Poo, she'd usually just say, all right. So I guess she wasn't fazed by it.
Deep down she
Keep up the good work, Michael.
I like that.
Michael couldn't be bothered to add any more detail. That'd do. He did it on his walk in, didn't he? Typed it on his phone, sent it. They'll never read that.
Well, you're wrong. We haven't is in.
Fucking hell, they put it in.
God.
Sweaty Poo.
I sort of admire the lack of effort.
Yeah.
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite rumour.
Okay, so I'm going to read out the top 5 and we're all going to privately write down which we think is the best and then reveal it
at the same time.
Yeah. So, number 1, Lovely Simon.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, Sweaty Poo.
God almighty.
Number 3, Croissant Hand.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Number 4, Comet Wank.
Okay, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And number 5, Caroline's Headset.
Oh, my God. I thought I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind 3 times.
I'll do it again.
now.
Number
Okay.
1, Lovely Simon. Number 2, Sweaty
I
Poo.
need to change.
It's like a little song.
Yeah.
Number 1, Lovely Simon. Number 2, Sweaty Poo. Number 3, Croissant Hand. Number 4, Comet Wank. Number 5, Caroline's Headset. Okay.
God,
Right,
this is
I've
quite
changed my
hard,
mind
actually.
3 times.
Right.
Never done that before. I was so confident I was going to go for the... You growling makes good podcast.
Yeah, shit, I saw it. Fuck, it's not easy, is it?
No,
It
I
isn't,
quite like
it
these
isn't.
ones.
Yeah.
I was really sure, and I
Yeah.
changed. I'll show you mine, and then I'll tell you what I was going to go for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you now.
I was going to copy you,
I
David.
don't know if this is
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not sure.
Right.
No, I'm stuck between 2, but I've gone. I've gone for.
I'm not sure. Sorry. I'll cut all this.
I'm going to give you 5 more seconds.
Okay.
5, 4,
Right, yeah.
3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Okay.
Okay. On
Right.
The count of 3.
On the count of 3,
Okay.
we'll reveal which ones we've chosen.
Should we shout out, reveal and shout?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay, so 1,
1, 2, 3.
Croissant hand!
Caroline's Headset.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Oh, God.
Oh, shit!
Caroline's
See,
Headset
it was in my
won.
top 3.
I nearly went with Simon.
I nearly went with
I was
Simon.
like,
nearly
oh
went with
yeah,
Simon.
Simon.
My
And then I was
Simon
like,
was my,
shit.
I'm going to go with Simon, and then I totally forgot about croissant hand.
Wonderful moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
agree, don't we?
Sort of.
Yeah, I think we always.
Oh,
Although we've
did
never really done it this way.
It's good
That's
shouting
what-
them out. I like shouting.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Right, okay, so it's...
Caroline's Headset.
right, Poppy, open the window.
Okay.
Get
Okay.
some hers
So
out.
Poppy's now going to tell the world.
Yeah, go on.
So-
Right, okay.
Okay,
What
she's
size
opening
of-
the window.
What size of crowd we got out there? Is it dwindling?
30 odd. 30,
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Less than last week, though.
Yeah.
Go for it.
How did it go? Can't not do it.
Chuck it out, in.
There was this woman with a.
Let me start with the lads.
Lads. Oh yeah, some lads not doing their postal work, playing games. They hated Caroline.
Is she Scottish?
Oh yeah, she's Scottish, and she has a orthopedic thing.
Correct.
Chair.
So to get her back for doing nothing, they steal it and then dismantle it and get it out of the office. And she keeps on annoying them.
People downstairs are wondering why they bother to turn up every week.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then she continues annoying them, and they get a headset when she's not looking, and one lad puts it up his anus.
Now we're cooking.
Then takes it out his anus, and there's a tiny nugget of poo stuck to it.
Okay.
They all have a sniff.
I forgot that bit. Well done.
But
That's stuck in your head.
Now she's flowing.
smells awful.
Don't do it.
And then they put it back where it was, and she comes in, and she's angry. And I think it's still on there. Is that right?
Could you
Something like that.
Could you? You left out my favourite bit. They laughed in her face.
Oh yeah, they one of the lads was laughed in her face and pissed himself.
Yeah, just repeated. And in no more detail. Oh yeah, and then they laughed in her face. Let's close that with.
Hey!
Oh God!
Oh right.
I think it's because I'm in a bad mood.
You are in a bad mood.
Yeah.
You are in a bad mood.
Do you think it's?
Why are you in a bad mood, Poppy?
Just contact lenses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Contact lenses.
Yeah.
Don't take much to put you in a bad mood.
Is your other half gonna get it tonight?
What? Because I dropped the contact lenses.
Because you're in a bad mood.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Get it? Do you
Well,
mean
get it.
Get it.
Sorry, I don't mean it.
What do you mean? Have sex with it?
That's what I thought you meant. I was like, fucking hell, David.
I didn't mean
Are you
that.
going to have some angry sex? What? Fucking
You're
none
gonna
of
have
your
some violent sex. That's what's going on.
You're going to
is it?
beat each other up and have it off.
Ooh, lovely.
I can't wait. I hope
I
so.
bet you can't wait for you to drop. Once a year, she drops her contact lenses and go at each other. I literally went in shock you asking
So
that.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that, but
No. Do
You're
you
gonna have
mean
sex tonight.
You're
yeah.
gonna
You're gonna have sex with your own bloke tonight.
You're going to shout at him, do you mean?
Yeah. You're gonna give him.
Might
what
do a
for?
bit of both and
That
just
means that means
confuse
sex as
him.
well,
Yeah. Confuse him.
Yeah.
He thinks he's going to get it, but what she ends up getting is a right telling off. He's all revved up. Do you know what? You annoy me. Oh. Night.
Can't wait.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Weird
Okay.
way to end.
Yeah.
David asking about your sex life.
It's fine. Ask away.
Yeah. And that's all from us at Gossipmongers.
Bye bye.
You're
You're
going to get it tonight.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, David.
Love it.
I wasn't there when you said it so casually.
Welcome to Granny's Muffins. No. George and Mildred. No. Giant Muck Spreader. No. Gossipmongers. Yes. Gossipmongers. Yes. Yes. That's his hope. Gossipmongers. Welcome. Gossip number 1.
This is from Dan. This piece of juicy gossip originates from my high school in Luton. There was a kid in the year below. Well, let's call him Giuseppe. There's always that one kid at school who seemingly came out of the womb mid-puberty and arrived into high school 6 foot tall with a full beard. Giuseppe was this kid. The rumour about Giuseppe is that he would allegedly have at least 3 wanks a day during school hours.
So 8:30 till 3:30.
The rumour was spread by one boy who claimed he'd caught Giuseppe mid-pump in the toilets by the geography classrooms. Obviously, this could be a vicious lie, as the boy who claimed he caught Giuseppe also claimed he was going to be the ball boy for the 1998 FA Cup final.
Two ends of the spectrum.
However, I do think this one is true. Our school went on a skiing trip to Austria, and we would do a variety of slightly odd activities during the evening. The weirdest one of the lot was an authentic Austrian night out, which included your typical dancing and sing-alongs, but also a game where two contestants would go head-to-head milking a fake cow.
I don't know where this is going. I don't know what will happen.
I presume he was excellent at it.
The contestant to milk the most in an allotted time was crowned the winner. Naturally, our school decided Giuseppe was going to represent us in the competition. Giuseppe absolutely smashed it. The technique, the precision, the finesse. His competitor stood no chance. Giuseppe was different class. Fair enough. We sent him up there because we thought it would be funny, but we celebrated big style when he won.
Yeah.
No greater feeling in the world, is there?
Turned it all
Than
around.
your school winning a milking competition.
Gossip number 2.
For a good few years, my weekend job over the winter was working as a beater at a pheasant shoot in Buckinghamshire. Fuck's sake. I've got a dry mouth from the plane, hasn't it?
In the plane?
Yeah, do you ever get that with, like, after you've been flying?
You've flown to
Okay, so we're just going to take a...
Where have you flown in from?
Croatia.
4 days
Sun's
ago.
out,
He's got dry mouth.
4 days ago.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
It develops, doesn't
I
it?
came on a plane yesterday. My mouth is fine.
Are you sure?
Hell are
Mine
you?
was
Yeah,
water.
it's absolutely fine. 3
Okay.
days after you.
At least it's not 3 pages long, this.
Okay. All right, okay. Anyway, none of this was actually part of the story, but it was during this delightful job that I met a person this rumour is actually about. Let's call him Russell. I was 12 at the time, which makes me guess that Russell might have been about 14. He was a gangly lad with tight ginger curls and a slack jaw that would make any village idiot proud. Oh, God. It was the first day of a new shooting season when someone noticed Russell's absence. What is going on in this? A shy kid who lived not too far from him sheepishly told us the following rumour. Apparently, over the previous summer, Russell and his older brother had been left to fend for themselves for the first time while their parents enjoyed a holiday in Spain. Apparently, Russell's older brother, who was meant to be looking out for his functionally challenged younger sibling, decided to fuck off with his mates for a few days. It was during this time that sadly their much-loved family dog of several years suddenly died. This was before the days of mobile phones, so poor Russell was left on his own to deal with matters. Armed with only his unique levels of ingenuity and cunning, he laid the dog down on the garage floor, shut the door and left it there.
Simple. Job done.
With it being a very hot summer, it didn't take long for the plan to show its flaws, and the smell alone made Russell realise he had to try and attempt a burial. Unfortunately, the hot summer had baked the ground dry.
Problem number 1.
To the point that Russell simply couldn't dig any sort of hole, let alone grave, in the entire garden. With his parents due back in a couple of days, Russell decided that cremation was the way
I
forward.
was going to do the yellow pages. Yeah.
French polish.
After a few failed attempts to burn the body of his family dog, Russell Russell had a brainwave.
Oh, yeah, did you, Russell?
Yeah.
Third time lucky.
Russell had a brainwave of funneling some petrol from the garage into the mouth of the poor bastard thing.
Oh, God.
It's the simplest ideas.
I know. Oblivious to the fact that he had just turned the empty corpse of his beloved dog into a small bomb.
Bomb dog.
Russell then proceeded to splatter the entire side of his house.
Oh, this is horrible. Oh, God.
In bloody clumps.
Bloody clumps.
In bloody clumps of dog bits. God, it's horrible.
Oh, it's horrible. I think about the parents.
Yeah. You're fine with
You
it.
seem to
Love
be.
it.
In my head, it's an Alsatian for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, God.
I often wonder. Oh, God. I often wonder how fucked up it must have been for his parents to return home from a nice holiday in Spain to find out your son has done some controversial pebble dashing with your pet dog. Never saw Russell again, so I'm guessing it's true. That's a good one.
God.
Pebble Dash dog.
Oh, God.
Well done.
Gossip number 3.
And this is from Charlie. Good morning. I grew up in a small town in the Midlands, and this is my gossip. It's called Jizzy Stacey. When I was a teenager, there was a lad at school named Eddie, who was one of those strange social peripheral dwelling lads with an irrational amount of confidence when making strange brags. We all know him. He had a girlfriend with whom he was in what they have perceived a long-term relationship called Stacey. They were one of the first sexually active couples in school, so he was flooded with questions about their business. Thinking it would earn him some points on his way up the social ladder, Eddie told a group of us that he had finished inside her so often that he'd built up a deposit of his own specimen.
What?
God. That stayed permanently?
Yeah, he'd
What, inside her?
Yeah. So much so that when he had one of his everyday fingering sessions, he shockingly pulled out a big ball of his own dried up junk. Rumours circulated about the size of the ball. From ping pong to tennis ball. Mini egg to ostrich egg. Impossible to confirm. It ended up having the opposite of the desired effect, as people began just to think of the spunk ball whenever they saw either of them. Nobody knows what happened to Stacey, but Eddie is believed to now work as a bin man.
Gossip number 4.
Hello, Gossipmongers. This is Anonymous, from Anonymous. In my school, there's a rumour that one of the girls in my year had not 1 or 2, but 15 kidneys. She was from a strange family. Her dad was known locally as Hitler, although I have no idea why. The rumour was that during a routine check, doctors had found lots and lots of tiny kidneys instead of the usual 2 big ones. Like little kidney beans, I guess. Yeah. As we got older, the rumoured number continued to grow, so that by the 6th form, she apparently had 80 kidneys. She was much bigger than everyone else in school, and some people said she was just one big kidney.
What the fuck is going on?
Others suspected that Hitler was growing organs as part of a sinister experiment.
Oh, like chopping them out and selling them on?
Nobody ever called her names because she had a funny surname anyway. The family surname was Meat Yard. Jenny Meat Yard.
Jenny Meat Yard. Of course she's big.
Meat Yard.
Meat Yard. What the fuck? Jenny Meat Yard.
I'm not
Mr. and Mrs. Meat Yard.
I'm not sure how much of the rumour is true, but Facebook tells me she's alive and well.
I'm going to check out Jenny Meat Yard.
If anyone is in desperate need of a kidney transplant, maybe get in touch. I'm sure she can spare a few of her little ones.
Gossip number 5.
This rumour dates back about 25 years and relates to 2 lads from my school in Sussex who got a reputation for unorthodox behaviour. These 2 guys lived in the local caravan park, and although many people were absolutely fine, these 2 were just grubby and smelly. They were always making excuses to bunk off school together, and in the end my mate Neil decided to go round to Terry's, one of the lads' houses, at break time and find out where they were. The front door was ajar, and with no regard for his own safety, Neil decided to bravely investigate inside. He immediately heard some banging around from upstairs, like someone was hammering together some furniture or something. As he went upstairs and looked through the bedroom door, he saw Terry with his trousers and pants round his ankles, humping away at a chest of drawers. Humping away at a chest of drawers. He opened the drawers and wedged a couple of pillows in there and was rifling his own bedroom furniture. The other lad, Simon, was in the other corner wanking over. The other lad was in the corner wanking off, watching Terry make sweet love to his bedroom. Neil made a hasty escape and told us all what he'd found. Next time Terry came to school, we were just chanting "Wardrobe Boy" over and over again. He wasn't fucking a wardrobe, but it was a lot easier than saying chest of drawers.
Boy.
Gossip number 6.
This is from Anonymous. This is about the high school, all girls, that I went to. During my time there, we had 2 head teachers who were fired. Both just mysteriously stopped turning up to the school. And about a week later, we'd have a surprise assembly where the deputy head would tell us that the head teachers were no longer employed. It always felt a little bit like a mutiny. The first one was a woman who we were all terrified of, and she got fired for fraud. She bought loads of plasma screen TVs for the school, and apparently kept a couple for her own home. She also apparently got money to buy a snowplough for the school, which never turned up.
She wasn't amazing at fraud, was she? Where's her snowplough?
My school didn't have a snowplough.
No,
Lucky to have a crash mat.
Where was this school? It needed a fucking snowplow. Ben Nevis School.
Gossip number 7. Celebrity Ricky Gervais.
Right, the hardest bloke in Whitley was called Chopper Wilson. I never knew him, he was older than me, right? But it was pointed out, that's Chopper Wilson, right? Obviously that wasn't his real first name. I don't know his first name. He got the nickname Chopper because he went mental with an axe in Londis once, right? But that's not the rumour. The rumour is that he once headbutted someone on a bus, right? But the interesting thing was, he wasn't on the bus. He was running alongside the bus, and someone on the bus was being a bit leery, and he headbutted him through the window. Yeah, Chopper Wilson headbutted a bloke through the window of a bus. I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible, but good luck to him. Hardest bloke in Whitley. Bye.
Gossip number 8.
Hi, Gossipmongers. Back when I was 11 or 12, I lived in a lovely rural area with babbling brooks, lush fields and ancient forests, Hertfordshire. It was here me and a group of 3 friends began inexplicably getting our todgers out.
Of course it was.
Settling down in a circle for some self-pleasure. Rarely you get someone telling you that they'd done this. One of our group was rumoured to have an unusual penis.
Here we go.
He referred to it as a type 2.
What does he mean by that?
Yeah,
I
what
wonder.
does that mean?
I can't
I
even
wonder.
see it. And as such, always made his escape when the sessions began. Rumour had it his sister caught him talking to himself about it in front of the mirror.
About what is penis
Yeah.
or the group wanking?
Of course, we reckon type 2 meant maggot.
Maggot dick.
Kids are cruel. You're sat in a circle wanking. I think you should be. Anyway,
By
As-
a babbling brook.
yeah, wanking by a babbling
It's
brook.
romantic.
Where's
Lovely.
type 2 heading off? Right. I always hated it when he left, as I now.
Oh, he's gone.
You going? You heading off? I always hated it when he left, as I was now bottom of the pile with the least pubes. Not as bad as having a type 2, though. Oh, God. The sessions were instigated by the largest member physically in the group, who, looking back, was the only one who really enjoyed it. He would use a kind of otherworldly language to get us started.
Yeah, I keep picturing like Frodo and all that.
Everyone else is dressed as a knight. He would use a kind of otherworldly language to get us started, namely the word stoshti and loggy.
What, to turn them on?
Yeah, to get them revved up.
Stoshti.
Stoshti and leggy, and off we go.
Gandalf.
Uttered in ever more urgent and persuasive tones until we relented.
Stoshti.
You'll never take our Stoshti. Uttered in ever more urgent and persuasive tones until we relented and took our positions in the wanking circle.
So compositions.
The wanking circle.
Like some chants.
The wanking circle. Oh, God. At this time, we used to go exploring around an abandoned house near where Type 2 lived. And after every exhausting the excitement of loosening a few bricks and chalking on the walls, this was Murphy Mob's era, when graffiti was gentle, we began to get bored, and Type 2, sensing what was coming, had already popped home. They're getting bored.
Yeah, the wanking circle's coming.
Stoshti! Stoshti! This is the fucking most surreal thing. 5 minutes later, we're all in a circle, going at it like troopers. To be fair, on my part, I liked it to get it over with.
Oh, getting heart palpitations. This is my favourite one.
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I always took the precaution of keeping my trousers and pants up at these sessions. But the instigator had them down around his
course he
ankles
did.
as usual. Halfway through the tugging, an old man appeared from the trees. He may have been the owner, who knows?
From the trees.
I
want this to go on for about 20 pages.
I just remember what the, and I was off.
Type 2 seems years ago.
Book 1. That's
Book 1.
During the terror, though, I had to fly past the instigator, trying to run with his pants round his ankles, and he stumbled into some nettles. I remember running out of the clearing, scared shitless, but laughing madly. The instigator had a stung bottom, and Type 2 is now married with kids. God. Cheers for a great podcast.
Oh.
Johnny, the boy Johnson, standing ovation, mate. Oh, you shouldn't have been forced to wank in a circle, but I'm glad you were.
Gossip number 9.
Hi, Poppy, David and Joe.
Always last, aren't
Are you?
I?
Hi, Joe, David and Poppy.
Well, not always last. Every now and then I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me or you. You're always in the middle.
Or me, I was last the other.
Weird.
It's one of us.
So it's always one of us last, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a bit hurtful.
It's going to give me a complex.
I'm just thinking, who are they going to put next?
Hi, Poppy, David and Joe. My rumour takes us back to the mid-80s and focuses on a lad in my class called Johnny Patterson. He was the type of kid who was always a scruff bag, even first thing in the morning. He smelt of Wotsits, despite never being seen in possession of said cheesy snacks. Also, if memory serves, he once had his dog follow him to school and had to make his excuses to take it home. Having said all this, he was the only 10-year-old boy who was prepared to go down the haunted end of the school on his own.
Oh,
So he was braver than most.
I'm in.
Anyway, here is the rumour that followed this maverick around. In the 4th year, a new teacher joined the school and it instantly became our form teacher. Miss Patterson had exactly the same surname as Johnny, and despite a few whispers and murmurs, this was never addressed out in the open. Now, this could be seen as a coincidence, but every time she asked him a question, no matter how insignificant, he'd throw a wobbler, flip his desk over, scream like a banshee, and run out of class over the sports field, and do a bunk over the back gate. Not to be seen till the following morning. These incidents were never addressed. And as far as I know, he never got into serious trouble for them. I mean, she must have been his mum, right?
Oh, come on. That's got to be his mum.
I've never had this rumour substantiated either way. But I did look him up on Facebook recently. He seems to be doing all right, so fair play.
It's like a Harry Potter book.
That's got to be his mum. Just waiting for him to get a question.
Johnny, have you...
What's the capital of Peru?
Fuck this!
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite rumour.
Okay, so we're going to have to spread one of these rumours. I've narrowed it down to 5 as per. So I'll read them out. There's Pebble Dash Dog.
Bomb Dog.
Bomb Dog, if you like. Jenny Meat Yard.
Let's cut to the chase. We all know where we're going.
I'm gonna let me have my moment. Jenny Meat Yard with tiny kidneys.
Yeah.
I think that's a contender.
Would have been a winner on another show.
On another day, yep. Chest of Drawers Screwing.
Yeah.
The guy who fucked his bedroom. Patterson's mum, or is it?
Oh, yeah.
Or Type 2 wanker. It's Type 2 wanker,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Okay, so
Type 2
should we spread that rumour?
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to open
What's
the
your
window?
favourite bit, Poppy?
Don't overthink it this week.
Did I overthink it last week?
I think you panicked. Right,
I'm
okay.
panicking now.
Go on then.
Open the window, there he is.
Okay, go on then.
Okay.
She's a lot of
Spreading,
thinking.
okay.
Gone blank.
remember any.
Just
Come
go
on,
with
let's
your
do
gut.
this.
Go with your gut.
There
Loud. Remember,
was
it's
a
high up.
a group of lads wanking in a circle, and they had some kind of chant. I can't remember the
Stoshi.
Stoshi.
Stoshti.
Stoshti. And they were doing that, and one of them had a small dick, a type 2 dick, maggots. Biggest
Just
one
saying
was
words,
the instigator and the Gandalf character. There was a haunted house.
No, there wasn't. There was another one.
Different rumour.
There was a haunted house.
Not in this one, there wasn't.
I thought there was. And then
No.
some guy turned up, I can't remember, and said, I don't know, I can't remember anything from it.
Well, he said it about
Sorry.
3 minutes ago.
Sorry.
He's losing interest in this podcast.
I'm not. I'm not.
Thinking about what to have for your tea.
There was a lot of detail.
Do you want to shout out what you're going to have for your tea instead?
Probably have a key or something. Shutting the window now, yeah.
Actually, the least enthusiastic Poppy has ever been about. 5 minutes ago, you were loving the rumour.
I loved it. I can't remember it. I can't remember, like,
There was so much detail.
there was a lot.
Yeah.
I was so in there, yeah. Like,
But you are having Chinkiv tonight.
yeah, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Bringing them back.
What do you
yeah.
have? Chips and peas?
I like what is it? I can't remember. I like crispy pancakes as well.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay.
Gone off topic.
Yeah.
We've gone very off now.
How do we end it
Important to
last time,
discuss.
Poppy?
From us all at Gossipmongers.
Was that it?
No, it was something. It was weird.
It
It was
was-
something like
As we liked.
We applaud you or something like that.
We say goodbye.
And as we say goodbye, Stoshti.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was like in third person or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Some weird thing going on. From
Come on, we got
Should we say Stoshti?
Stoshti.
Stoshti.
From all of us, Stoshti.
Welcome to Garage Mopeds. No. Grappling mummies. No. Grubby moustaches. No. Gossipmongers. Yes. Gossipmongers. Yes. Yes. That's his hope. Gossipmongers. Welcome. Welcome. Gossip number 1.
Right. This is from Joe Addison. Team. I thought for some time whether or not this should be shared. I've decided it definitely should. Let me take you back to 1990, Mansfield. A boy at our school by the name of Simon Brown used to always ride his bike around without the seat. So yes, just sat on his seat pole.
Here we go. This is more like it.
Penetration can't be 100% confirmed, but people say his dad constantly fitted new saddles,
What did he take him off?
only for him to go out to play and return without said new saddle and a wry grin.
Okay, yeah, lovely.
This was no flash in the pan incident. It started when Dan was 5 and carried on until he joined the Royal Navy at the age of 16.
Right.
People now in the local pub still joke about the whereabouts of the saddleless sailor. I'm sure most towns have someone like this.
No, they don't.
Last time I saw him on leave from the Navy, he was looking very lean and tanned, now driving a car instead of a bike. But rumour has it he's removed the top of the gear stick, unconfirmed.
Gossip number 2.
Right, this is from Sam. When I was about 12, my mate Adam was a pathological liar. He had a magazine cover of someone doing a motorcycle jump over the Grand Canyon or something similar, and ludicrously suggested this was in fact him. And this is what he'd been up to the previous summer. He also had a poster up in his bedroom wall of a woman with enormous breasts barely contained in a swimsuit, One day, whilst openly ogling her and calling her fit, he also claimed that she was in fact his aunt, who worked at the Playboy Mansion. She had invited us all to visit and had some Playboy mates who were already really excited about us staying over.
They only got 12.
Yeah. Sadly, it didn't work out in the end. Something about air travel chaos and the price of tickets.
Believable. Yeah.
Though I'm sure they never existed. What do you think? I often think of those disappointed, busty paedophiles still waiting. They must be in their 70s now. Busty paedophiles.
Gossip number 3.
This is from Matty Theo. Fuck. Heard your podcast and made me remember Mum telling me this one about a popping codger she heard of called 1980s BP Clive.
What's a popping clogger?
Yeah,
No idea. Someone dying?
Oh,
Popping clogger.
codger. What is it?
Anyway. Has to be said as a preface that before he was known as 1980s BP Clive, he was a right famous bummer about town, wore an earring in the gay ear, frequented secret oily parties in a leather jacket purposefully turned inside out, and was known to have an anal opening with a diameter such that whole turds would often drop out mid-stride.
God.
No.
Please.
We're better. Surely,
Please.
surely we're better than this.
Don't know.
Are we?
Please,
Are
Matty.
we?
Anyway, so we're driving one day and she passes the services and she tells me that that's where 1980s BP Clive exploded. And I was, of course, like, what are you talking about, Mum? And she recounted how she'd been told by a friend, Ms. Sue.
Ms. Who?
Ms.
Not married.
This is weird. And she recounted how she'd been told by her friend, Ms. Sue Mycox, that in the late 80s, a man had exploded at the surfaces. And not because of the petrol or nothing, but because before, when services weren't 24/7, this old leathery man would go after hours, stick a deflated rugby ball up his clacker,
Clacker.
Up his clacker.
then inflate it with the air pumps used to pressurise tyres.
I'm going to stick my neck out and say that's a bad idea. In the cover of night.
I've since Googled it, and it turns out it was pretty rife in the 80s, before you could just go and buy a fuck-off big dildo. So 1980s BP Clive is going about the services with just an air nozzle sticking out of his considerable arsehole, like some kind of tiny orange tail. And he's inflating this rugby ball at the lowest PPI setting, or what have you.
He's not a madman.
And as it inflates all up in his guts, he's wanking. And he gets it out, then just as he's about to come, it said he'd pinch the nozzle and completely deflate himself. Build up the momentum and get his Jekylls right up.
These words.
3 or 4 times of this violent masturbatory brutalism, and when he gunks up, the spray is arcing a good 20 metres over the forecourt. Now, this is already fucked. So if this is too much, then I understand. But keep reading. If you want to know.
Stop it in.
If you want to know how it turned out for 1980s BP Clive.
His name.
I can imagine.
Sounds like a computer.
I think you can see where this is heading.
No, I can't.
So yeah, Mum tells me Ms. Sue Mycox told her that 1980s BP Clive got right jeckled up on some poppers and fucking ignored to change the PPI pressure so that it was on the highest setting.
Oh, shit.
Like for a tractor or some shit. And he's hand to gland combat with his old fella, and the rugger ball is hitting max inflation way too quick. And just as he realises what he's done, or rather not done, the ball's leather skin breaks open and the immense rubber bladder inside the ball inflates so violently that 1980s BP Clive just fucking pops like a bloody wet balloon and showers blood and guts all over the entire BP. Ms. Sue Mycock told Mum that her aunt lived in the same suburb and had awoken at the sound of a piercing scream, followed by a pop.
Scream and then a pop.
Then a series of dull, wet, meaty thuds.
What, as his thorax hit the ground?
They knew it was Clive.
Why? From the thud. That sounds like Clive hitting the floor.
Only because of a partially intact piece of jaw and dental records. And I guess because, like I said, he was a right famous bummer.
Right.
Cool beans. Hope this ain't too fucked for you guys.
Who the hell is this bloke?
God.
Gossip number 4.
I don't know if anything makes me feel sick.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Let's
You
wait.
must grossed out by something.
What's that banjo string?
Okay.
On a dick.
Yeah.
The back of a dick. The back of a dick. Right, fair enough.
It makes me feel faint. Don't know.
Really? Yeah, I know what you mean.
feel
It's
sick.
yeah.
Horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Feels like it
Too
could
thick.
twang and bleed at any point.
I'm gonna faint.
Yeah, it looks too tender to be where it is. That should be like a lot
Yeah.
solid. Yeah,
I can
should
feel
be
Fair enough.
should
I
be
can
a
feel
bone or
myself
something,
getting
not a bit of.
dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like the fact that after a second that
Banjo
popped in.
string.
I don't know if anything grosses me out. I think the back of a penis mainly.
Yeah.
Don't look at it, I
God.
say. Don't look at it.
I'm scared I'm gonna faint now. God.
Yeah.
I'll try and think of something else. Okay. This is from Anon.
God, I hope this is about banjo strings.
And you faint.
Instantly
Just
pass
hear
out.
just hear her. Your head hits the table. Oh. Found her Achilles heel.
God. This is from Anon. Hi, I live in a town of where there's a large private school of the same name. I got chatting to a guy in boots and he told me about one of his teachers at school and the secret club he'd been running for some of the sixth form students. Apparently there's an old Latin teacher called who runs an evening fart club. Oh, this is making me feel sick again. Just too hot for any of these bits of gossip. Every year he selects half a dozen boys to come to his house on a Sunday evening, once a month, eat a roast dinner. They are
Get a load
allowed.
of spuds in.
They are allowed a couple of beers with their meal. At the end,
We're allowed 2 beers.
How many have you had, Tom?
at the end of the dinner, they pass a bucket round the table, and each person pulls down their pants and farts into it.